The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome to Last Call, where we all know that Cobra Kai never dies. Well, the first half of the last season just dropped yesterday, so maybe the show is coming to an end. But the legacy of the Karate Kid franchise has proven its staying power. Tonight, we will take a little retrospective on the first 5 seasons of Cobra Kai. Sort of a refresher so you can go into binging the new season all grounded and centered and stuff. So get comfortable. Top off your glasses. Tell me what you're sipping on in the chat, and we'll roll this Canarble Wagon as quick as you can yell, Banzai!
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
Salud! And for those of you sharp-eyed eagles, you already know what I'm sipping on, but just in case there's any question.
Release the Kraken. Release the Kraken! The Kraken!
Why is the rum always gone?
Because it's so tasty, and it makes you feel good. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. Brutal week. It's always a brutal week. Actually, you know, everybody's been kind of down, kind of somber, kind of, you know, what the heck's going on? All this bad news. Depends on how you look at it. I'm seeing a lot of good news. I think a lot of good things have happened this week. And sometimes bad news can bring about good news. A lot of white pills this week. I'm feeling pretty good. I hope you are too. But work has been brutal. I don't talk about work here because that's not what we're here for. That's not fun. We're here to forget all of that, right? There we go. Let me say hi to all of you wonderful people in the chat. So appreciate you being here. You guys are like Kraken to me. You guys are awesome. Starting with PJ of Orville Nation. Don't know if you're still here, but thank you for stopping by, my friend. Welcome. He's contributed so much to this channel. I have him listed as the business manager down in the description below. And then, of course, we have FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. Well, he's pretty much always known as Tim to us. Welcome, Tim. Good to see you. And, of course, the bird woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary. Welcome. So appreciate you being here. You are, like, misencouraging, right? You always, at the end of the stream, you thank me for the stream. You come back and you leave a little comment. Thank you so much. God, that encourages me so much. You keep encouraging me like that, I'll keep doing streams like this. You know what I mean? And, of course, Logical Spark. Welcome, my friend. He's double fisting it because he's watching Sin on another tab. Good. Speaking of tab, that's what I've got mixed in with the obviously not a sponsorship because they don't make this stuff anymore.
And we've only got one full case of it left that hasn't been opened.
Yeah.
And then I'd say maybe about a dozen loose ones.
So it only keeps so long. You know, it you can't keep it forever.
And here's something that's kind of weird. We have some sitting in a what do you call them? It's in a bin. They're all loose.
Plastic bin, yeah.
And occasionally I'll find that one has decided to unalive itself.
I think Tab eats its way through the cans eventually. Can only imagine what it's doing to my gut. Welcome, Curtis Selby. He says films with friends raids. I assume because you are immediately followed by Deleted Scenes and Big Al Presents. Thank you so much, my friends, for being here. And, of course, we've got Age of Boomer. Age of Boomer, good to see you, my friend. Let's get you in here. You're here for the nostalgia, so much so that you're looking very, very young.
This is a leftover from Monday's stream. I figured, hey, why not use it?
Yeah. We'll revisit those next Monday. Hopefully, we don't have a horrible tornado rip through my neighborhood.
You've had a week, haven't you? And
yeah.
I know you don't like talking about work, but I'm curious. Was this computer disaster that affected most of the country? Did it affect you at all?
Oh no, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I told Troy about it because my company actually does IT certifications.
Okay.
And they sent out an email this morning saying, there's this outage. It's worldwide or whatever, and da-da-da-da-da, and it should not affect any of our services, but just in case you're having issues in any of these platforms, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, doesn't affect me. Delete the email. About an hour or so later, they're still having issues, but it's, being fixed, da-da-da-da. Delete that email. Next one came up. We've been taken off their list because it's not affecting us. Delete that email. It's like, see, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, that wasn't the problem. I had to take a half day on Monday, and as a contractor, I don't get paid for.
I see.
I don't get paid when any time that I don't work. So
sucks.
So I should probably take this opportunity to mention that yes, super chats are enabled and memberships, and so if anyone wants to support, you guys already support so much. I super appreciate it.
But everything that you donate, I guess you would call it, for a super chat, it goes right back into the channel. We are actually putting the funds aside to get better equipment so that we could service you better.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Absolutely. So what are you sipping on?
I'm drinking a Coke tonight. I got to work in the morning.
Regular full calorie?
Yeah, because...
Ooh, high octane, my friend.
Well, Friday's my cheat day, but I wasn't even bothering with the diet since I was recovering from the you-know-what. But I'll probably be starting again next week, yeah.
Yeah, you probably went, a good while there with when you really don't feel well, you tend to not eat as much.
Well, that's true. I'm finally getting my appetite back, so that's good. So.
You should, when you are sick, make sure you push for a lot of water.
Yeah, water's important.
And a lot of protein. Any protein you can get in you is a good thing.
Well, I have some beef jerky coming in the mail. So.
Well, there you go. I was going to say scrambled eggs, but whatever.
Eggs are wonderful. Actually, egg salad, if it's made properly, that's always good.
There you go.
Not everybody likes that, but my mom makes it good.
And
I want the recipe.
I'm trying to. Why isn't? Oh,
You know what?
I meant to show Big Al, and I took him away. I didn't mean to do that. You were saying?
I'll send it to you sometime, Netter. It's probably a variant of our deviled eggs recipe, which uses dry mustard instead of horseradish.
Oh, that sounds good.
And it's better with that, trust me. But I'll see if I can send you the recipes.
And Big Al binged the new Cobra Kai episodes yesterday. Hate having to wait until November. That sounds like a positive. It sounds like you enjoyed that first half.
Should have been watching those today.
Welcome, Adanui. Always a pleasure, my friend.
I guess I've been binging Evil lately, so I'm trying to get caught up.
Curtis Selby hasn't watched them yet. They're on Netflix, right? Yes, they are. They all dropped early in the morning yesterday. But you know what? That's fine because this gives you the opportunity to get all caught up, mentally speaking, because we're going to kind of run through those
run through
5
the
seasons.
So...
Kool-Aid Man into the room. Hey, Kool-Aid. Is that what you're sipping on? Is Kool-Aid? That's cool, too.
I haven't had Kool-Aid in ages. I used to love that stuff. Remember Kool-Aid?
I'll be honest with you. I like Kool-Aid and, the various knockoffs, but I'm starting to not be too keen on artificial colors. I'm not digging the reds, the blues, the greens. I don't need it. And I'm really concerned what that might be doing to our insides, just so that it looks pretty.
Gotcha.
I don't need it, right? But as I'm sucking down a rum, right? Well, at least rum is natural, right?
Hey, you guys.
Rita Moreno, right? Geek Flag with Nate Knows 1973. By the way, Nate, thank you so much. I got a he's great. Every day he sends me a message on Instagram, and I never go to Instagram. So, like, I don't know, once a month or something like that, I'll go and I'll see all the memes that he shared with me and whatnot. But today he shared with me a video, and I shared it in the MeWe group for Last Call, on the event for Live from Sparkwood in 21. Somebody talking about a film called The Blue Rose, and he says that it's very, very Lynchian, and so now I want to check this thing out and see what that's all about. I asked Sin if she was coming over here, and she hadn't replied. No, you know what, man? She's in the middle of her own stream. Let her focus. I understand how challenging it can be to, hell, I got the YouTube open, I got the Rumble open, I got StreamYard. These guys each have their own streams going, so yeah, there's a lot of moving parts when you're hosting a show. Let's see. Everyone's saying hi to each other. I think that's awesome. As for Troy's question, sadly, I am not drinking anything tonight. Well, at least you should get yourself some water, right? Yes. At least
doesn't hurt to drink water, or maybe a nice hot cup of tea.
I don't want anything hot right now. It's kind of warm in here as it is.
I turned on the air.
I know. It just takes time for the cold to.
I thought you're in the basement. Isn't it cool in the basement?
I know. I am, but I don't know. Anyway, good evening, everyone. I haven't watched Cobra Kai, but I dropped in for a few minutes to say hello and give you a thumbs up. Well, Evelyn, if you have not seen any Cobra Kai, maybe this is a good stream for you to be on, because we're going to talk about the first 5 seasons, so we can kind of give you a summation, kind of get you all caught up. Yeah. Yes, I suppose if you haven't seen anything, you might think it's spoilery.
It's gonna be spoilery.
But you know what? Honestly, it's such a good show. If you know the entire, basic plot, you're still gonna enjoy every single episode. I promise you. Deleted Scenes has never seen Cobra Kai.
What?
I'm not very good at this. I know. Well, yeah.
Man, what is with
maybe
you people?
Watching tonight's stream, you listening to us talk about it, maybe you'll get jazzed up. You want to go check it out, I actually got the notification this morning. There you go. And let's see. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Well, that is the intent of this place, right? It is kind of like Cheers. And there's my girl. Last Call with Troy Pacelli. Hello, love of my life. Hello, my dear. How are you doing, and what are you sipping on, Netter of Netters Network?
I am doing well. I'm glad the week is over. And I made
brutal week.
Yeah, I made a new concoction for myself. I love pineapple. So Troy had got me all crap ton of pineapple chunks in cans. So last time I had some, which was day before yesterday, I saved the juice. And I put that aside for a drink, and then remembered, oh, right, I don't have any of my rum, so I'm not going to use it in that. Then I'm like, well, I have my cranberry grape juice. So I mixed the two together. It's actually pretty good.
There you go.
I don't know what to call this new concoction. The other one is Nutter's Nectar. What's this one going to be called?
It's no fun without rum. Nate says, what's up? Pacelli, tonight I'm sipping on a homemade banana and caramel milkshake. That sounds wonderful.
Ooh, that sounds tasty.
Let me tell you something. I'm guessing this is store-bought ice cream and not homemade ice cream. Have you ever made homemade ice cream? If you do, you may never go back to store-bought ice cream.
It's tricky though. You have to worry about the salt getting mixed in, because you have to use the kit we had.
You know what the secret to that is?
What?
Don't be a slob.
You know what's a good brand of ice cream if you're in a store? Tillamook. I will recommend Tillamook. Washington State brand.
Oh, okay. You know what's good? Well, this one might be more regional to me. I'm not sure. Oberweis is really good. who's the bloke that owns Oberweis? Well, the guy's name is Oberweis. I forget his first name. He ran for office some years ago.
The milk guy?
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never had Oberweis milk, this stuff is so smooth and creamy. There used to be an Oberweis, I guess you would call it.
It's still there.
Is it still there?
The nice thing about it is you can get milk in glass bottles.
Yeah, it's like with their milkshakes. We went in there once for a milkshake. It was the best milkshake I ever had. So creamy, so smooth. It's like, yeah, if you've never had Oberweis, check it out. It's a little bit pricier than regular milk. I guess because of just the way it's processed or whatever, but it is so good.
I'm kind of going through quick. I think a lot of you guys are... Curtis Selby watched the first 2 episodes. Brutal week on your end. Glad it's over. And and we're stealing away one of your politicians for vice president too. So but keep an eye out on who's going to be your replacement. I think you might be pleasantly surprised. I gave you a quick response. That really is interesting. I'm pleased with the 5th on the inspiration of your biblical. Okay, yeah, I thought you were talking to me. Okay, fair enough. And it's a store-bought butter ice cream. Interesting. Absolute crap. But see, that's why we do this. If you've had a good week, we celebrate. If you've had a not so good week, we make you forget it. That's the idea. And we are going to forget it by thinking about things that we enjoy and talk about something that I have really enjoyed. Cobra Kai, right?
Do you remember when the first trailer for that premiered on YouTube?
Look at this. We got a super chat from the Clue channel. Coming in with $5. Thank you so much, my friend. Salute. What are you sipping on, by the way? In case you missed the opening, I've cracked out the Kraken. But what was this? Just be aware they have to get the right person listed. So they can make extra copies when they don't have enough votes. Right. Yeah, exactly right. And welcome, Enigma Severus. Absolutely welcome. Yeah, shenanigans. That's why you have to win so big, you beat the rig. That's the... Oh, dude. I was thinking brandy, but I decided to go really base simple tonight because I just felt like Johnny Lawrence would be more of a rum and coke than a brandy kind
Johnny
of guy,
Lawrence
right?
is always drinking Coors.
Yeah, that's true. But he lives in California too, so yes. I mean...
I could have given you a Sapporo. It's cold.
I thought about a Sapporo, and you know what? Maybe after I finish this, maybe I will take one of those Sapporos. Was AFK during the ice cream talk. My aunt makes a homemade peach ice cream. That is awesome. So let me tell you something. What I said about fresh ice cream, when you're doing a fruit-flavored ice cream and you got fresh fruit, the best. It's totally worth the calories under those circumstances. CK says, I like Cobra Kai and never was into the original Karate Kid stuff, but felt like Cobra Kai did the best job of showing both sides of the coin, redemption, arcs, etc. So that's one of the things that that this guy and I were talking about in the behind the scenes. We were saying that... I think, he had said he hasn't had a chance to watch it yet. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. He's like, but what else is there to watch? There's nothing else as good, And a big part of it is we were debating what format were we going to do. Are we just going to summarize the season? We're going to go episode by episode. He goes, there's a lot there. There's a lot to talk about. And I'm like, that's because there's a lot of characters and they all get well developed. Can you imagine that? A TV show that has characters that get development and you care about the characters. Not enough of that going on.
Someone's making a point that there isn't a lot of well-done, wholesome entertainment. And I know I find that funny saying that, on a show where one of the kids' name is what is it, penis breath, and things like that.
Penis breath, yeah. Exactly.
But my point is that Cobra Kai actually, I think, has a good moral center to it, and I actually think it is a show that teens could watch, maybe even younger than teens could watch, and it's
Lorena Carmona, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So good to see you. And
Boomer, look at private chat.
I see. Gotcha. Well, welcome.
Yep. And let's see. My wife keeps trying to get me to see Cobra Kai. I think it's time. Well, that's probably a great pivot point. Let's set it up again. So we're going to be doing a retrospective about the first 5 seasons. There will be spoilers. Personally, I'm of the mind that this is such a good show that even knowing the wider points of the story is not going to ruin it for you. In fact, I think like so many times that I've told Netter the story about a movie I enjoyed or whatever, or actually times that it's been done to me too. I know the whole story. Now I want to see it and thoroughly enjoyed it. Let me tell you something. Song of Ice and Fire, those books, I had a buddy in my D&D group who we were just sitting out having drinks, outside one day, and he was telling me the whole story of the first 2 or 3 books. And it sounded so interesting, I wanted to read those damn books. And I started reading the damn books. And I was like, that's great. And then I got to the end and I'm like, okay, when's the next book coming out? He goes, well, fuck if anybody knows. I mean, it's been years. And I'm like, oh, crap, what did I just get invested into? So...
Well, it's worse, I think, is when you start reading a series and you're like, okay, when's the next one? Oh, there is no next one. The author passed away years ago. And it's like,
Yeah. Nate, it's actually 6 seasons. The first half of the 6th season just dropped. That's why we're having this conversation. And greetings to Disney Sheepherder. Haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Always awesome to see you. And Big Al says he's fading a bit, but wanted to say to Agent Boomer, looking forward to next Friday. And Robin of Sherwood, you're finally doing that, right? There you go.
Next Friday. Yeah, I'll be on. I guess that'll be Films of Friends. Is that what that's called, or is it with the Rob? Or maybe he just has that as a separate thing, Robin of Sherwood. What?
The Clue Channel. So I should binge before you guys begin. Got it. Well, the only way that's going to work is if you pause us or just go away and come back. I don't see any other way to do it. And you're going to have to watch 5 seasons in like super high speed. Don't do that. I don't think... I mean, unless you're like a real stickler, for spoilers, I think you'll be just fine. And then go watch the thing and enjoy it all the more. I really think that's the case. So, yeah. So, and see, even though you say, oh, it should be a good show. See, well, dude, we're simpatico, right? I mean, you suggest something that I'm going to like, I like it. I suggest something you like, well, it's a roll of the dice. But, you take your chances. Anyway... So let's get into this. Cobra Kai. So this show has had one hell of a history. I mean, it's been on, 3 different networks now? Is that right? It started out on YouTube. Whatever YouTube's premium channel was.
They were doing a premium pay YouTube where they would have original series and movies, and Cobra Kai was like one of the first ones they announced. Do you remember the trailer for it when it premiered?
Was that the one that included the scene of Johnny in his office and somebody's cleaning his window and he says, "Sensei, is there a specific way you want me to clean this window?" And he goes, "I don't give a f-" And they stop.
The trailer I remember was you see Johnny Lawrence waking up and there's a beer can on the floor. I'm hoping that was beer next to him or it was puke or something, and he's lying on the floor. And I'm watching this, I'm like, yeah, there's Johnny Lawrence on the floor, passed out where he belongs, because I'm like, yeah.
Well,
and then
really,
like you see Daniel Russo saying, "Oh, we had a fight, we had a tournament in the high school. I kicked his face," and they're laughing. And then I'm reading the comments underneath this trailer, and people were saying Daniel was always the villain, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was getting mad, and I just remember that.
Yeah.
And then I start looking at YouTube videos where some guy is dissecting Karate Kid, saying that Daniel was clearly not innocent in all this. He was the aggressor, made a situation a lot worse than it would have been.
Yeah, there was a lot of YouTube content and videos and whatnot kind of taking that whole contrarian sort of point of view, which a lot of us, really look with everything that's been happening in Hollywood and the deconstruction of just about frickin' everything. That was pretty annoying. But then when we saw the first ads for Cobra Kai, I was like, crap. They're going to turn the good guy into the bad guy into the good guy. They're going to lean into that. And then everybody was coming out and saying how good it was and whatnot. And I was like, okay. And I think I waited like 2 or 3 seasons before I started watching it. And it turns out, yes, they do lean into the whole, Daniel was not, blameless, but not in a hateful kind of, deconstructionist kind of way.
These are kids, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They were kids in high school.
You come to the realization that theory was actually true when you look at the Karate Kid again from an adult point of view. Yeah. From a kid's point of view, Daniel was the one you see as the hero, and he was 100% right. As an adult, you're like, I understand why he did what he did, but no, he escalated it. He was wrong. He went picking fights he shouldn't have been picking. Nobody was perfectly blameless. They were kids. This isn't Star Wars that's supposed to be absolute good versus absolute bad. This is just the conflict you have with kids.
We'll see a pivotal scene on Monday when we rewatch the
so
first
I
two.
should comment on that.
When you see Kreese and he's I got Johnny's like, I got second place, and then Kreese breaks the trophy in front of him, and and I think the whole point of that is, and Miyagi says, not bad student, bad teacher. He made a point to.
Thank you so much, Disney Sheepherder. That is awesome. I super appreciate it. He gifted 5 last call memberships. Thank you so much. You are awesome, my friend. You're great. You really
Okay,
are.
and if you want to know who got those lovely memberships,
the
Clue Channel was gifted a membership.
Yes,
Mr. Londell's Groovy Movie.
Welcome, Mr. Londell.
Karen Owen was gifted a membership.
Welcome, Karen Owen, and congratulations.
Dante's Infernape.
Well, welcome, Dante.
1, 2, 3. That's 4. I don't see a 5th one, so maybe the 5th one hasn't come up yet.
And real quick, I do want to. So this is directly. This will get us back on topic too. Oh, I guess I can't highlight it in YouTube. I got to highlight it here. And he says, all over a woman who dumped both of them.
C'est la vie.
Put a pin in that one. Put a pin in that one, because even that has some shades there. No, really, man, I super appreciate it. You're good. You're good, man.
So the rivalry is back on in this new series. We have Johnny Lawrence, who...
Oh.
Is this from the promo?
This
Apparently
is from
I'm the
the
fifth
first
person.
season.
First season, okay.
Apparently I'm the 5th person, according to Deleted. It's like, oh.
Oh, that's why you weren't seeing it. Okay, there you go.
Cool.
But here we go. But we have Strike First, Strike Hard, No Mercy. And, of course, as we saw in the trailer and, of course, during the season, like... Danny LaRusso is not having this because Johnny Lawrence had decided, I'm going to bring back Cobra Kai. Right. Because he runs into a young teen named Miguel.
Yeah, so let's back up a little bit. First, I did want to say, originally on Monday, I was supposed to have, on Monday night at the movies, we were going to do a double feature of The Karate Kid and Karate Kid Part 2, kind of to set the stage for this. That did not happen because tornado. Seriously. So we had to cut the stream short. We will pick those movies up again next Monday. But the one thing that I want to set the stage from the first movie is Daniel moves from New Jersey to California, and they move into this little apartment somewhere in...
Him and his mom.
Yeah, somewhere in Southern California. His single mom. They're moving because she had just taken a job, and he goes to school and gets picked on mercilessly by Johnny Lawrence and the guys from Cobra Kai, right?
A bunch of tall blonde kids, basically.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
preppy,
Exactly right.
Rich ass, jerks, I'll say.
And at one point he after getting the tar knocked out of him, he decides to go and pull a prank on them and escalate things, and they come after him and they start beating him up again, but he is kind of rescued by the caretaker of his apartment building, Mr. Miyagi, right? So Mr. Miyagi works as a caretaker for his apartment complex, and it turns out that he emigrated from Okinawa, served in the U.S. Armed Forces during World War II, and he's, he knows karate, right? So he's going to teach Daniel karate so that he can defend himself, and it all leads to putting him into a competition and a tournament and all that.
With Johnny
kind of stuff.
Lawrence at the end, yeah.
But here's the thing. Mr. Miyagi, karate expert, teaches Daniel, and he was the caretaker for an apartment building. Johnny Lawrence, who was one of the rich kids, whatever, he was, hoity-toity, had money, and so on and so forth. Well, he's not doing so well now, and what's he doing? He's a caretaker for an apartment building. And he decides, after rescuing a kid, right, kind of like Mr. Miyagi did with Daniel, he decides to reopen Cobra Kai and teach kids karate, right?
Yes.
So in a way, he's kind of like poor man's Mr. Miyagi.
But he has a very, very different teaching method. He's of the 80s school where, when men would kick ass and take names, and it wasn't always...
Well, and remember, too, that his sensei was Kreese, who was, ex-Special Forces, Marines, look, strike first, strike hard, no mercy, play dirty, there is no rules in combat. This was combat to him. This wasn't self-defense, right? This was attack. The strongest defense is more offense.
Yeah. There's Miguel in episode 3. That was the kid he kind of saved from getting beaten up, and
which is, of course, he's wearing the same costume that that Johnny wore when he beat up Daniel in the movie. So a lot of great reference. And here's something else I want to say. The show is constantly referencing the movies, but not in a fan servicey kind of way. These characters grew up. They have a history. So when you have things like Daniel's mother, same actress plays his mother, and she does a guest appearance.
Right.
This should not be considered fan service. It's like Daniel has a mother. I lived with my mother when I was in high school. I visit my mother from time to time now. And it's the same woman. No big surprise there, right?
Right.
I want to give you a costume to go to this party in. This is all I got. These kinds of things is continuity. It makes sense, right? So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, nothing. But there. Want to have a picture of Miguel? That the first decent one I found was him in the skeleton costume from episode 3, and of course, there's the next episode. That's Miguel's mom,
right?
Who made
they live right across from Johnny Lawrence in the apartment building. Yeah.
And what was interesting,
another single mom Again, just like Daniel's mom, right?
And I think much like there's an echo where Johnny Lawrence is taking him home after he gets beat up, and he's holding him like Mr. Miyagi was holding Daniel, right? If you think about it, I think that happened.
Oh, this is actually a good question. No, Cobra Kai is a sequel to Karate Kid. So this is like Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso all grown up now
as adults, yeah. And now there's a new generation of kids.
And they immediately are introducing a new generation. It is still focused on the main characters, but
they're now in the teacher role. They're now in the teacher role.
Exactly. And this is again that example of this is how you hand off a franchise to another generation.
Maybe how Star Wars.
You don't have to marginalize your original cast. You elevate them to the leadership role and pass the torch, and keep them all together and still interacting.
And like I said, Miguel's been being bullied this season.
Miguel ends up becoming very much like the Daniel LaRusso type character.
He's with the nerd group. Like there's the one guy that I guess had a cleft palate that got repaired, but he still has a scar from it.
Right.
Who later becomes known as Hawk. And then there's the Dimitri, who's this tall, lanky, nerdy type who I guess is into. They talk about Star Trek or Star Wars and things like that.
That sounds familiar.
But Hawk wants to join up with Cobra Kai, and Johnny Lawrence is leaning into him and says, like, you don't belong here, like doing this. And then Hawk shows up. What does he do? Gets himself a badass tattoo, but mohawk, and puts on, and he's like, hey, okay.
Yeah.
You're looking the part at least, right?
Yeah.
And
like an eagle fang. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of us.
No, but it was kind of funny. I remember when the first girl shows up, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we don't let girls in here, and like he's okay, fine, and then she tackles Miguel and like starts pounding on her and says, she's a natural cobra. Remember that?
Yep. Yep. You see, it's funny. I was talking with Mark Malnikoff about this, and I said, he's got a very Klingon type of attitude, right? Exclude the women until the women prove themselves. Yes. Then it's like, you have to earn your equality. Once you demonstrate you deserve equality, you're fucking equal.
Oh, Clue may have to leave the stream because he wants to watch. I do recommend you watch it.
That's fine. If you want... wait. This sounds as good as Wifey makes it sound. Yeah.
But you also have to remember that not all men are equal to other men.
Exactly true. Exactly true. But all respect is earned. That's fine, Clue. I happen to be...
dream and leave it playing in the background.
I am... No. You want to dedicate some attention to this.
No, you want to watch it, and I recommend anyone who has an interest, go and watch this show. You
might want to do like me. I have all the DVDs. I don't have to go to
physical media.
Yeah. Well, I've also never subscribed to Netflix, right? So yes, I kind of sailed the high seas to watch it when I wanted to watch it, but I always bought the season because it was that good. That's the way to do it, my friends. So I have it. I can rewatch it, and I probably absolutely will. Yes. See, I knew you were here. Mark says respect is earned, not given away. Exactly right. There's a certain base level respect that you get just for being a, so-called human being. But if you want to be taken seriously, you got to put your money where your mouth is. You got to earn certain levels of respect. I know that this new generation thinks that, everything should just be handed to them, or it's not fair. It's not equitable. Sorry. That's Darwin for you. Ask Darwin how that works out in nature. You stand in front of a lion and say, I deserve to be treated as equal. That lion's going to say, okay, well, you're equal food for me. I'm starting to sound like I belong in Cobra Kai. Anyway, I guess what I'm saying, Clue, is if you got to bow out because you don't want any spoilers, I dig it. I certainly respect that. But
what's going on here?
Yeah. So here Daniel So just as Johnny Lawrence has gone from being a rich kid, and we don't know exactly all that happened to him at this point, and how he kind of ended up down on his luck and kind of a drinker and, working as a caretaker for an apartment building.
Well, his mom dying had something to do with that.
It did.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were other bad decisions he made along the way. Yeah. Especially as we're looking at this picture, right? We know he made some decisions. Daniel has done very well for himself, and he's the owner of a car dealership.
Yes. And he
We
gives
saw
out a free bonsai with every car purchase.
That's right. That's right. He's kept that tradition alive, and he's got commercials where he does karate and stuff like that. It's
chopping the prices in half. And
chopping the prices and stuff. Yeah. But he's very wealthy. He's very wealthy. He's doing very well for himself.
He's at least middle class, maybe higher than that. Yeah.
And so here he's
not on a business.
What's the character's name again? This kid?
Okay, this is, I believe, is Bobby, I believe, right?
Okay. And so he's kind of taking...
Robbie Keene, yes.
Robbie, right. He takes on Robbie, and he's trying to mentor him as well.
Yeah.
And that gets a little interesting as we go along. So we got Robbie and we got what was his name? Miguel. Yes. Robbie and Miguel, right? Yes. They obviously end up having a little bit of a rivalry. But interestingly, now, maybe it's because we're adults, we are kind of looking at this a little bit more critically, and we're kind of seeing both of their sides. They're both a little bit right. They're both a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
Good storytelling, in my opinion.
Remember and Johnny, of course, is training a new group of Cobra Kai, and this was the episode of the junkyard. Remember that? And then
I do, and I'm like, what kind of a psycho are you? But he's works.
He's not, though. He's a teacher. Here's the weird thing about Johnny Lawrence. He kind of missed his calling. I could have seen him as a coach and a high school teacher as his profession. Think about it.
Yeah.
He has that mentality. I could have seen him coaching a football team or something like that. I mean, granted, he's a sensei, so that's a teacher also. So he sort of is now doing that. But
exactly.
But he's thinking on the fly, how do I teach these kids? But
what's interesting
with good lessons using real world applications.
He's not. He's kind of. There's a little bit of that even though he had no training from Mr. Miyagi, you see a little bit of the Mr. Miyagi thinking. How do I get across what I'm teaching to these kids? That kind of teacher mentality, like you just said. He's very creative, very original, and he's not directly. He takes a little bit of inspiration from Kreese, but not really. He is not as brutal as Kreese.
He's about being badass, not about being bad.
That's a great way to put it. Yes, that's exactly it.
There's still codes and honor you have to follow when fighting in tournaments. And if you look back to the original Karate Kid, he didn't want to do the things Kreese was telling him in that tournament. He was like, no, that's kind of sweep the leg. Come on, that's... Even if I lose, he felt that was underhand.
He knew that was a punk move at the time.
Yes, and he didn't like it. So, that's interesting. Can anyone name the television show which inspired Cobra Kai? I don't know. Was there another one based off of a movie series?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Oh, Enigma Severus has. Can anyone name the television show that inspired Cobra Kai? I don't know. I'm trying. Was there another TV show that was inspired by a 80s movie series, maybe?
I don't know, man. Yeah, help us out here. I'd be interested.
Curtis Selby, the internet just crashed. Well, I hope it's not worldwide. Of course, things have been weird.
It has been a rough week. Yeah, it's funny you say that because, you know what? I just realized I saw the circle spinning on my YouTube for a while, and I was a little bit behind on that. How I Met Your Mother.
Because the actor who played Johnny Lawrence, hold on, what was his name? William Zabka. Guest starred in How I Met Your Mother, didn't he? Yeah.
There you go.
They were all big on Cobra Kai. Well, Cobra Kai has a cool name.
Yeah.
There we have I'm trying to find a picture of Samantha. That is Daniel LaRusso's daughter.
Yeah, she's
There's
sweet.
Robbie Keene, the kid who kind of the trouble kid that Daniel LaRusso was mentoring, and kind of teaching karate. And
I may be getting ahead of us a little bit, but at one point, Daniel ends up taking him into his house because he's going through some hard things at home. Yeah. And so you end up with this, this plot line that plays like a PG version of an adult film, the stepbrother and the stepsister kind of a situation.
Well, yeah, but I don't.
That's why I said a PG version of it.
But here we go. Here we have the All Valley tournament. Now, of course, throughout the series, Daniel is trying to stop Cobra Kai from getting back in, and he's on the board.
There you go, Nick. Okay, I get what you're saying. Barney Stinson always promoted the theory that the bad guy is the good guy, made the theory more famous. Yes, that's right. Kind of launched that theory into... But they didn't go into it completely. They leaned into it, but they were nuanced about it. They did a great job of it.
Yeah, like Darth Vader in A New Hope when he was breaking that guy's neck in front of, that just made me think he's just misunderstood. I'm sorry.
No, but see, that's the example of absolute evil and absolute good,
I remember as a kid saying, "Yeah, he's bad." That's what happened to my head.
That is not good. That is not the good.
Okay, so here we have the All Valley tournament. Cobra Kai gets in, and then Daniel LaRusso is training Robbie Keane, and then it's Robbie versus Miguel in that final episode. And of course, we come to find out who Robbie Keane's son is. We're gonna have to spoil. Yeah, I'm sorry, who's his father is, and of course it's Johnny Lawrence.
Right.
Johnny Lawrence, he had a girlfriend and he had a kid, but he's kind of estranged from his own son, and that's Robbie. Yep. So it's kind of weird in some ways. These are like the two sons of Johnny Lawrence, right? His actual birth son and his more of his...
And his kind of like girlfriend's son, yeah. So
they're not dating yet, but
eventually, maybe in theory, potential stepson, yeah.
And the tournament happens, and I think Miguel does a move that he does something underhanded to win, I think, right? That's what happens. And then, Robbie's leaning away, and like Johnny's actually upset about what happened, and he says, "It's okay, Dad," and he limps away, and that's sort of how the season ends. Well, not quite how the season ends, because he's Cobra Kai has won the All Valley, and then who shows up? We're really getting into spoiler territory, people.
Critical Thinking and Drinking says, "What cool on-screen pics, man! Nice." Well,
I ripped them off Google. Okay,
that's my co-pilot here. He's the real brains of this operation. I just come to drink, really.
But not the best picture of Kreese, but Kreese shows up.
Speaking of drinking, Netter, I'll take that Sapporo now.
Okay, give me a minute. I'll go upstairs and get it for you.
And here we have Kreese.
Wow, Johnny has Kreese in a headlock. What's that all about?
Oh, break his neck. I can't stand that guy.
Oh, you're brutal, Netter.
I couldn't get a
finish him.
Do you remember the broken
finish him?
The broken glass on the floor, and he's looking at it, and he sees himself holding on to Kreese, and the expression he has in his face, and that's when he lets Kreese go, because he's like...
Yeah, it's almost like that scene where Luke Skywalker looks at his hand, right? Yeah.
And that's when he lets Kreese go. Kreese just wants to talk.
Yeah.
Johnny, all throughout season 1, thought Kreese was dead. Not the first time Kreese has probably faked his own death.
True.
I think he died. Because we saw in part 3, he did the same thing.
Yep.
And he just wants to talk to Johnny, just wants to, maybe, help out a little bit with the new dojo. Right. Right? Take over. It's your dojo. I'm not here to take over. I'm not here to take over. I'm not here to take over.
I totally missed this. What a great entrance. Hello, you crazy bastards. Thank you, my friend.
This is the season I actually probably feel the worst for Johnny.
It fits. Sapporo, because,
There you go. I'm sure Johnny Lawrence would take a sip of that.
It's a Japanese beer, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
yes.
That's where Daniel LaRusso's...
Banzai!
That's from Mr. Maragi.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel LaRusso always brings out the fine, Japanese, raw fish, and nobody wants to eat it at the dinner table, But,
I love this! Jesse Guajardo. I just got here, and the first thing I hear is Netter's bloodlust. Well, it's one of the first things that attracted me to her,
I am
It's a Klingon thing. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, John Kreese was the major villain of the first Karate Kid. Actually, let's be blunt. He's in all 3 of the original movies, isn't he?
That's true. That is true.
He shows up at the beginning of part 2, so he's not gone there.
One of these days, maybe we'll talk about this a little bit on Monday. This is an actor who he's appeared in some other
Martin Covey, that's his
yeah,
name. Yeah,
he's appeared in some other action films. He sometimes plays a good guy. Just saying.
No, he doesn't always play a villain. He's a real deal martial artist though too.
Yes, he is.
Stuff. Yeah,
that's the key. When you have someone who has a physical talent like martial arts and is a decent actor, that's pretty cool. You know?
Great shape for his age too. Come on, I mean,
he's
you're lucky if I'm
no doubt about it. He's significantly older than I am, and he's in better shape than I am.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
But
Sapporo was, I think, the place where Inizo Nitobe, author of the classic work Bushido, taught, if I remember correctly. That is interesting context. Thank you very much, Curtis.
And they make great beer.
It is really good. I have a buddy who can't drink imported beers. It gives him a headache, and it just has to do with the way American beers are bottled. There's something in the process that causes him. You know, I don't know. I'm like, I actually prefer Sapporo to most American beers that are the same texture and color. I usually prefer the darker ale type beers, but as far as these lighter beers, this is pretty good stuff. Of course, Netter got me drunk on this the first time she took me out for my birthday.
Oh, it was Sapporo and sake.
That's true. I had a
Japanese
full
Boilermaker
vial of sake and a full liter bottle of Sapporo. It was the first time I ever got drunk.
Yes, and it's a Japanese Boilermaker.
Exactly right. And
I didn't even get to take advantage of him because he passed out once he got to my place.
Yeah, I was in no condition for nothing that night.
Big
welcome, Jesse.
Proponent of drunken monkey kung fu martial arts. I'm thinking of like
what is that movie with Jackie Chan?
Drunken Master.
Drunken Master.
There are 2 of them. One of them, the newer one, was a remake. But
Netter, you need to get those movies. The Drunken Master movies. There's 2 of them.
Oh,
they're
really
Jackie
good.
Chan, and we need to have them on our shelf.
I have the original, the one from the 70s.
And you know, there's a whole theory about Jar Jar Binks, that his character is kind of based on the Drunken Master, that he is actually a
really,
Sith.
Yeah. Well,
I like that theory. That would have actually made the prequels better, in my opinion.
Later on in the Mortal Kombat games, you of course get a drunken boxer or drunken martial artist, and of course one of his moves is he'll throw up on you. You just have to go there.
Projectile, right?
Yes, of course it is, because Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
Mortal Kombat embraced its
finish him.
Mortal Kombat just embraced its ridiculousness later on. But yeah, here we go. Kreese is back.
So Kreese, as I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, he was a bit down on his luck.
Yeah, he was living in shelter. You know, he doesn't have like a lot.
And
of
Johnny kind of takes pity on him. He's like, "Hey, look, I need some help. I'm trying to train these kids. I'm restarting Cobra Kai.
Do we believe in forgiveness? You know,
yeah.
Do people change? Or am I going to hold a grudge the rest of my life?" Kreese says, "Look, we're going to kill me. I wasn't going to kill you in the park. You know, I was just, trying." Which maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. We don't know.
But he's not going to admit to it now, right?
No, of course not. Let's see. And here we go. This was that. Remember the episode when Miyagi-Do, if they were still calling it that, Daniel does the whole ice breaking thing, and then of course Cobra Kai comes on playing the heavy metal, the hair metal music, and just
So what happens is Johnny is going flash and glitz, and he's going for advertisement and whatnot.
Yeah, this was because Daniel Russo says, "Do you want to be a snake in the grass?" Like a little thing, a little bashing of Cobra Kai, remember?
And kind of poking, right?
Yeah.
And what you see is these kids all go to school together, so this is really kind of cool. You got these kids that are going and kind of recruiting their friends. Hey, come to Miyagi-Do, come to Cobra Kai, you know, and learn karate and blah 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 and this and that. And you have a kind of mix of kids, right? You got your cool kids, you've got your freaks and geeks, and they all have their reasons to want to learn karate. Anyway, that girl second from the right, let me tell you something. You know, in a different show, she would have been that girl power type character that checks the boxes. But they didn't play it that way with this.
No.
She was a fan favorite character, and when she left the show, sorry, a little bit of a spoiler, she ends up leaving kind of suddenly after.
But she comes back in an episode at least, so
that's nice.
They didn't just
because she was such a fan favorite. Yeah. You really like this character, you know.
Well, she's just a normal kid, and she's sort of not. Like, she was the friend of Sam, but then Sam started hanging out with the preppier rich girls, and then they were sort of on the outs. Like, they were more grammar school friends or elementary school friends that kind of fell off, and so it was more awkward. And then I think she gets finally angry about being on the outs with the popular kids. I'm going to go join Cobra Kai. That's what she decided to do. But she's a good person. I mean,
this is actually a great comment here by Jesse. When it comes to Jar Jar, I'm reminded of the old saying, a master doesn't fear another master, but the master fears the fool because the fool is unpredictable. And that's very much the idea behind the drunken master, right? He's a master, but he plays the fool. And that was supposed to be the idea behind Jar Jar.
Plus the drunken master also drinks.
Which I fully endorse.
At least in the Jackie Chan movies he did.
Yep.
We get introduced to a new member of Cobra Kai this season, Tori. Who is...
I like Tori. I feel dirty by how much I like her. She's a very cute little girl.
What do you think? Maybe a future Wonder Woman? Maybe? Another actress that
she would make a great Wonder Woman. Yes. Actually, you know what? Blonde her up completely, she'd make a good Supergirl. But that one's already. I wanted
the actress who played Mary Marvel to play Wonder Woman, so yeah, they could do that. Yeah, but we do. But she shows up, and now Sam gets.
Take it easy, Matanui. Thanks for hanging out with us.
She becomes Sam's rival.
Yes,
because she sees Sam as the rich girl, has everything. Tori's,
this is a great point.
Kind of a shit life.
This isn't just a focus on the boys, right? The girls are 100% as important characters as the men, but they don't overshadow either. It's all actually gender's kind of not important, other than they usually don't have girls fighting boys.
Well, plus gender's important. The fact that there's actual romance on this show. Oh my goodness.
That is true too. Yes. And
like
rivalries
boys and girls liking each other. This is strange. I don't know what's going on. With
shocking, right?
Anyway, but what I find interesting about her
personally, I like women because of the differences.
Yes,
just saying.
But
anyone know that reference?
I don't know, but isn't she taking care of like a younger sibling or maybe two younger siblings while her mom is like basically dying of diabetes or something?
Yes,
or something like that. Yeah,
this is another character where she's got a whole ton of crap on her shoulders. Yeah,
more so,
and she's way too young.
More than even Daniel did in the original Karate Kid. So she has a lot weighing her down, but she joins the karate dojo because I think she even had some experience doing karate where she was from.
Yeah.
So she wanted to join a new dojo.
This girl is no Jessica Roth. Who's that? I have no idea who that is.
I don't know.
I'm old. I don't know these kids anymore. We should make a great Claire Redfield for live action Resident Evil.
Claire Redfield. She's the sister of Chris Redfield.
You are the gaming guy, so
she rides a bike and wears a bike suit, like a track suit, and rides.
Awesome, yeah.
Yes. And she kills dogs.
I would love to see. Actually, I'd love to see all the kids that were in this show do all kinds of great things.
Yes, there's no reason they can't be the new generation of actors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In fact, they even made a joke that it wouldn't be cool if Robbie played Booster Gold because Miguel's playing Blue Beetle. It would have been funny if they had.
Apparently, she's from Boy Kills World, my future missus. Well,
Another reason I need
here's
to watch
hoping,
this movie.
Enigma.
Yeah, pretty woman. Here we go, though. We have... Look at this. Look who's in the background. It's Kreese. And, of course, whatever Daniel was thinking about Johnny, as soon as Kreese shows up, nope, not having it. This is not cool. He does not like Kreese, obviously, for obvious reasons.
I am not sure if Ginger with a side of ninja is saying that's what's being sipped on. Dr. Pepper Monkey Baby. I mean, yeah, I'm just drunk enough for that to make me giggle without even understanding it.
I don't know, but welcome. Haven't seen you before.
One
of the interesting about this show, though, they usually take place over like a 4-month period. This season is the summer after the tournament, so they're all from school. And tensions are rising throughout this season as the rivalries build between the teens that maybe the adults should be more aware of while this is all going on.
And so at this point, this scene you're showing here, Daniel is... he's found out that Johnny has restarted Cobra Kai. And he, as far as he's concerned, that's the dark side has returned to the valley. Yeah, and he is pissed off about it.
He's offering lessons for free because he's trying to form a rival dojo. Because that's the only way we're going to counteract this is if I have my own karate students. I think that's what he's thinking because he can't. He tried getting rid of them in the first season, just outright trying to get them. I think he tried getting with the guy renting the place, trying to convince him, don't rent to this guy, just let's get this out of here, but he couldn't get rid of him, so now he's trying to form another dojo.
Welcome, you are too slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next show, Miyagi-Do. Bonsai! Yes, absolutely, and welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being here.
But here we go. This is kind of a sad episode, but kind of a fun episode too. This is when Johnny meets his old high school friends.
Yes, and this is very much in the David Lynch Twin Peaks The Return kind of mentality. Yeah. The show is going out of its way to take advantage of every guest appearance it can. Again, in a very organic way. It makes perfect sense that Johnny would maybe, if not keep in touch with his old friends, call his old friends together for a reunion when he's restarting Cobra Kai. Only to find out that not only is one of the actors who was one of the kids in Cobra Kai in the original movie, the actor is suffering from cancer.
Hold that thought.
Yes.
Hi, Michael.
Retroblasting.
Oh, retroblast. Oh, dude. If Hilary Swank never makes an appearance, this whole series is... Yeah.
I'm sure there's an open invitation. I thought it would have been kind of funny if Hilary Swank showed up.
She needs to... Yeah. Big Al, if you are still here, give us a spoiler. Does Hilary Swank show up in the first half of the season? I'd love to know. Michael... you may not know this. I don't know how closely you follow the channel. Monday we were supposed to do a rewatch of Karate Kids 1 and 2, and the next Monday we were going to do 3 and the next Karate Kid. But because my town got hit with a tornado and I lost internet on Monday, we're going to have to pick up 1 and 2 next week. So we're not going to get around to Hilary Swank, but maybe I will do those movies when the second half of the season drops.
Yeah, you could do those.
It was not a bad film. I mean, and there's a lot more Mr. Miyagi lore there that I think is important. So, okay. Big Al says no. So that's fine. That's fine. There's a possibility she might make an appearance in the second half. We never know. But yeah, going back to this, the actor was suffering with cancer, and they were like, "Screw it! Would you like to make? We'll find a way to get you in here." And they did basically the same thing they did with the Log Lady in The Return. They just wrote the cancer into the storyline, which was he died just before the episode released, so they dedicated the episode to him when it dropped.
And I think he died in the episode too. They wrote him out. Yeah. What I find interesting about his friends, though, when he's talking to all of them over dinner.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, wax on, wax off. Absolutely.
What I did want to make a point, though, that he brings up that John Kreese is back helping me out with a dojo, and they all do a double take, and they're like, really? You shouldn't have him in your life. He is bad news. They
toxic,
remember. They were right. Dojo with, and they remember, you know what? We had a lot of change. They all had to go through changes, too. Like, a lot of them reformed themselves, too. And I guess went on a journey that Johnny Lawrence hasn't quite finished yet, because I think one of them became a pastor, right, or a minister.
That's right. One of them became a pastor.
Yeah, and the others, they went out, they lived their lives, and they're not the bullies anymore. And I think that Johnny is still.
There are so many stories that I've heard, and even in my own life, bullies. When they meet up with you as adults, they're like, look, man, I was an asshole as a kid. I'm sorry.
Sometimes they meet the right woman, too, and that changes them.
That is an excellent point, which we haven't touched on yet, but that's very much true with both Johnny and Daniel. Yep. The women in their lives are very... I have to believe they're going with a whole yin and yang concept there.
But... here we go. There's
Damn,
John
he even
Kreese.
looks really good for his age. He has not.
I think this is when he shows up at Miyagi-Do, right?
Yeah.
He's taunting Daniel. Daniel does not like this guy for obvious reasons.
Of course.
And obviously, I mean, because there are other times too where, like him and Johnny, like when they first had that drink at the bar, you realize they probably have more in common than either would like to admit.
Yep.
But this was the big
Kurt says he looks better than I do. Yeah, same here, actually. You're not wrong.
Rivalries are heating up over the summer. For starters, Miguel was dating Sam for a little bit, and then Robbie kind of...
As cute as Sam is, her hair is doing her no favors in this picture, in my opinion.
I don't think
they were going. It was an '80s party, wasn't it? So they were dressed as.
No, I think she's a very pretty young woman, but yeah,
she is. But that hairdo is very Belana Torres. I just no.
They were probably going for an '80s night thing. That's what it looked like. Yeah.
Well, okay. So I remember when I was in high school.
Robbie's doing like a Don Johnson type.
When I was in high school, we had a lot of sock hops and stuff like that, and you would try to do the styles of the era.
Yeah.
And you oftentimes had like mixed results, So, yeah. So this is one of my favorite. Is this still from first season?
Second season. We're on season 2 right now.
We're on
this
season
is summer.
2. Okay.
This is when Daniel and his wife go out to a restaurant, and Johnny, and he's finally dating Miguel's mom. What was her name again? Hold on. Carmen. Okay,
that reminds me. What is the name of the actress and character, actually, who is Daniel's wife? Amanda LaRusso.
Courtney Hengeler.
Hengeler.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful woman.
Yes.
Daniel did well for himself. Let's just say that.
But what I like about this is that's the women that say, "Hey, we should join tables and all sit together," because I think the women are like, "Let's kind of knock this off. Let's have a pleasant dinner with each other."
Which is very. Yes, this is the way men and women are, right? Men have that antagonistic, we haven't let it go, and the women are like, let's grow up, let it go, let there be peace, right?
But
so
anyway,
women are more reasonable?
In these kinds of circumstances, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, and thanks for putting me down a rabbit hole. I'm looking for the Drunken Master, right? I find the Drunken Master. I find the Legend of the Drunken Master. Then I found a whole slew of Jackie Chan movies. So I ended up ordering an 8-movie disc.
You know what?
Jackie
Maybe send an email. Michael, are you still here? Retro blasting.
The only two
Send a note to Michael. He knows these films better than anybody. He could probably advise you what films to get and where.
I know. It's like I got Drunken Master, I got Legend of Drunken Master,
yes,
and then I got one disc that's got 8 movies on it that doesn't include either of those.
Well,
But they're
I know
still
you're a
at the
big
top.
Jackie Chan fan, so I'm certainly not going to begrudge you going and getting those. Happy anniversary, by the way.
Is the original Drunken Master, is that the one where Jackie Chan's in the restaurant and he orders a bunch of food and he starts sharing with this old guy and he says, "Oh, take some of my food too." Okay, all right. Oh no, I can't. Obviously, I can't. So then like they both eat their meals and Jackie Chan keeps ordering food, trying to share with the other guy, and then he goes up and the one guy says, "Hey, you haven't paid your tab yet." "Oh, well, that's my dad over there. He's going to pay for me," even though it's just some guy he was sitting with at the restaurant, right? And then, of course, the guy, he says, "Really? Because he's my dad, that must make you a bastard." And then suddenly they realize, oh, this guy's trying to, stick the owner of the restaurant with the bill. And then they start beating him up. And it's just this.
Okay, I know I haven't seen this movie. Now I need to.
That's the original.
That actually sounds very, very interesting.
Anyway. Okay, but what I find interesting, though, of course, when Johnny Lawrence orders his meal, he orders tacos, he says crunchy. Of course he's going to say crunchy. Because he's Mr. All-American, still living in the 1980s, and his idea of the taco are the ones with the crunchy corn shells, right? Not the soft tacos you get in Mexican restaurants. I just noticed that. It was a little detail I noticed. Everything about Johnny is stuck.
I gotta say,
in the 80s, yes.
Okay, I don't know if this debate is the same as like what you put on a hot dog, what you put on a pizza and stuff like that. But whenever I would go to Taco Bell in the 80s as a kid, right, I would get 3 hard shell, 3 soft shell. Well, actually, soft shell wasn't even available when I was first going to Taco Bell. It was just hard shell. And they said, "Oh, let me try the soft shell." And I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty good." So I'd get 3 of each.
Yes. Well, it's just a preference thing, I guess. But they actually have a nice dinner. I'm sure other stuff was going on in this episode. Probably tensions increasing between the teens. Because that's been going on all summer. And, of course, we have the big finale. You've muted.
Oh,
muted.
Yes, I did, because I was talking to Netter.
Oh, I think.
Yeah, that is this the cliffhanger for season 2?
This is the first day of school and all hell breaks loose. Right.
Yeah, so this is Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai run into each other in the halls.
We're not
at
waiting
school.
for some tournament. We're having the fight now.
And Miguel goes over the banister, lands on the railing below him, and injures his back.
And Robbie's the one that throws him over. And Robbie was trying to be in control of the anger, but I think he had pushed down so much anger over the summer, was trying to be Mr. Serene.
Yeah.
That it finally got the better of him, so he does the final blow to Miguel and knocks him over. And Miguel's in some very bad shape.
Yeah.
And this is not, doesn't work out well for anybody.
And honestly,
I believe Tori does some major damage to Sam. Doesn't she hit her with some spikes?
Oh yeah,
yes,
just clobbers.
And it's just
This is a great freeze frame because honestly, as I watched it then, and even as I'm looking at this now, I'm not sure how this was filmed. Was this a practical effect? Was there
I think it's practical.
Green screen involved?
No, I don't. I would argue it's practical. I don't know if they've used any green screen or any. This is a no CG show. I think, right? This is just all practical. Think about it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't think they've been using any kind of After Effects, or at least it doesn't look like they are.
Well, if they used any After Effects, it was to take wires out or something.
Yeah,
like
but no, seriously, I kind of get the impression that everything we're seeing on the screen is really happening.
Well, he's dead or paralyzed.
Yes, he gets messed up, and Johnny. We're back. I think Johnny goes on a bender. Kreese takes over Cobra Kai, and he's no longer allowed in Cobra Kai or Johnny or something.
Right,
Johnny. I think he goes on a bender, gets arrested by the police. Things are not going well. You like that?
Wait a minute! Are you serious? This is my basement, man. I don't need a green. Although, interesting, I do have a green screen. I mean, I just haven't made use of it. I think I used it once. My lighting isn't good for a green screen. I really want to, though. A lot of you guys know I have a sister channel, Carton the Cleary Cleric, which I've done nothing with for years because fuck Paramount. But just saying. But I had downloaded and put together, photo edited, like the background of a Klingon bridge, so I was gonna, and I got the green screen and everything, and I did it once, and I'm like, screw you, Paramount, I'm not going to promote your POS show. Anyway. There. No, I figured you were, thanks.
Look at this. Daniel and Johnny are out looking for Robbie, because Robbie ran off after he paralyzed Miguel. He's running. He ran.
Right.
Because, of course, the cops are probably after him. It's a big disaster.
Mm-hmm. And
they have to go find Robbie.
Right.
I think they do find Robbie, and then Robbie ends up. I think they figured if they turn him in or something happens, it'll go easier on him if he turns himself in, because he'll have to, of course, do some time in juvenile hall. I think, right? But yeah. Look, here we go. There's Johnny's friend. I think he shows up drunk at one of the church services, if memory serves. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the interesting church service about? The guy was talking about forgiveness.
Yep.
Forgiving others. That's hard, isn't it?
Yep.
What's even harder? Forgiving ourselves when we do wrong,
Well, you're absolutely right about
that. And then Johnny shows, can't believe you became a priest. You can't be with women anymore. He says, I'm not a priest. I've tried telling you this.
Right, he's a minister.
I'm not a. That's a different faith or different.
Right, because he's married. You can even see that he's got the wedding ring.
No, he's lived a good life. This was the bad episode where I think Robbie, or I don't know if this happens in the season. Like, look, I'm going to talk to Robbie. You're going to talk to your dad. We'll make amends. Okay, this was to kind of keep Robbie on the good path. And the trouble is that finally Miguel's family lets Johnny in, and they're going to pray together. He says, "Don't leave. Let's pray." And what is Johnny supposed to do? Miguel's in the hospital, but he was also supposed to see his son that's in juvenile court, so he stays with Miguel. And then, of course, the pastor's there, and he's like, I don't know what to do, because, this was supposed to be him trying to make amends with his dad and all this other stuff, and that kind of goes south. And that's the thing about Cobra Kai. It's always... I don't want to say it's a soap opera. Let's not go that far, but it's...
This is a great guest appearance here. So this is a throwback to the second movie.
Daniel goes to Japan because apparently a automotive manufacturer over there wants to have a rival business of Daniel sell the cars, because Daniel's been so focused on all this karate stuff, his business has been suffering.
Right.
So he has to go over to Japan, and who does he run into? I'll find her name. Hold on.
Right, exactly.
I have everybody. I have the whole cast up. She's probably lower because she was only in a couple episodes.
But this was
part 2.
Was it like Noriyuki or something?
I think so. Yes.
From the second movie, like the girl that he was
kind of the love interest of that movie, right?
Yes, exactly.
Doesn't he rescue some kids in that? We'll get to that on Monday.
Yeah, actually, we'll get. That's another guest appearance. I think within the same episode or definitely the same season.
But of course, where we have her,
she's another one that aged very, very well.
Oh yeah, who's not far behind.
Cho-Sun, yes.
Oh man, when he first shows up and Daniel sees him, and you see the end of Karate Kid Part 2 when it's a challenge to the death, and the anger, and then Cho-Sun starts up again, and they have a fight, and what does it look like?
It's a reversal of their battle in the second movie, and it looks like he's gonna live or die,
I thought this was going to be the end of Daniel LaRusso on the show. I thought he was dead. It looked like he was about to do the killing blow on him. But then he does the honk on the nose.
Yeah, and he's like confused, and Cho-Sun just starts laughing. He goes, I've been waiting years to do that.
But the funny thing is, Cho-Sun had a lot of soul searching to do after that whole thing, and he's a much better man now than he was.
What season are we on?
Season 3.
We're on season 3, Tim, so you kind of missed maybe a little bit of season 1 and 2, but
we gotta keep rolling along.
And welcome, Tay Tay. Season was Rush. Are you talking about season 6? Well, it's only been half the season, so I know that we've still got some story.
There we go.
And welcome, by the way, Tay Tay.
And Chosen does something very interesting. Because I guess he and Miyagi, his dad also had Miyagi's dad as a teacher, right? So he knows about Miyagi dojo history, and he makes a point that, I would never use lethal force, and as of Miyagi, I'm part of the Miyagi things that the Miyagis did have a way to use lethal force. They did.
Yeah, so this is...
You don't know all about the Miyagi...
Yeah, this is a great thing where Daniel thinks he's gotten all of the training, and Chosen is like, there's more.
Sometimes you have to kill. That's what he was making the argument for.
Oh, thanks so much, Curtis. And welcome Mandy's daddy, Steve M., Joe's Atmosphere, Gorilla Random Thoughts, Jesse Green 619, and Clifton 3D. Memberships gifted to you by Curtis Selby. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. You really are. You guys trying to keep me afloat this week because I lost some pay.
You lost half a day. Well, did you at least go to the park and see the birds?
I had a doctor's appointment.
Well, there you go.
Well, no, okay. I'm just drunk enough to admit this. So I got off work a half day, went and laid down and took a nap, and then I went to my doctor's appointment.
Now, here's the funny thing. The doctor we went to go see
was
our
a sleep doctor. Yeah, because I sleep with the
we both do. We both have a CPAP.
Okay.
And, he's doing really well with his. I was having issues with mine where I just wasn't getting enough air, so he adjusted my airflow. But it's like... Did
they ever up
Yeah, they did the next day.
I told you they were gone by 5 o'clock. So if at 5:30 you saw it wasn't up, I knew.
Yeah, so they did up my air, and it seems to be better, but I've only been doing the new airflow for a couple of days, so it's...
if you have it, use it.
Yes.
It takes time to get used to, but once you do, you get a damn good night's sleep.
So now, here's the thing. If you snore, it could be a bigger problem than you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
We both have apnea.
Right. You might be keeping your wife awake, and she'll kill you in your sleep because she can't sleep.
Yeah, apnea can kill you.
It
really can. You could stop breathing in the middle of the night and then never start again.
True.
Which is how Trey started using a CPAP many, many years ago. And
we've gotten way off topic, sweetie.
Yeah, I'll be done just a sec.
Okay.
So if you snore, go see a sleep doctor and get diagnosed. They'll have you do a sleep test to see if you really have apnea or, maybe it's something else. But get tested for it. It doesn't take long. You might have to spend a night in the hospital where they hook you up to some machines so they can regulate your breathing and all that to see how you're doing. But it's worth it. And it could save your life. That's my public service announcement for today.
There you go.
More you know.
But this was a great example of subversion of expectations, right? You think that Chosen has been spending all these years stewing. He's still the bad guy.
Revenge, because basically
he's looking for revenge.
He's the Johnny Lawrence of Japan. Let's be honest here.
Exactly. Because this is the villain character of the second movie, right?
Yes.
And Daniel thinks, I'm screwed. I'm gonna get killed right now. This is the end of my life. Honk. And he's like, the hell? He's like, no. And he starts laughing. He's like, I've been. And he points out that Daniel actually helped humble him. And he's had a redemption arc since then, right? Since his uncle turned his back on him and all this kind of stuff. He got his head together and realized he was behaving dishonorably. And, he got his stuff together and ends up becoming very good friends with Daniel. And when Daniel, is talking with him about
Johnny. He's saying, "I wish you and I, wish all rivalries was getting like ours. We're fine now.
Exactly, and so he ends up saying, "Look, I'll help you in any way that I can." And so he's going to share with him more information about Miyagi family karate. He's got like some scrolls or something.
He has
like
old
that.
scrolls that have the dangerous stuff, and I think the idea was, look at these when you want to. I think, right, that sort of thing. But you take them because they have information on here, like the stunning thing. He did a stunning thing on him where Daniel gets completely incapacitated. He can't move. It's like a temporary handicap. It's like
it's like a
Vulcan
nerve
neck
lock.
pinch. Yeah.
Well, yeah, a nerve lock. Those are real though. Nerve locks are. I've had it happen to me. It's not as mystical or anything as you think it is, and you can have a limb go dead on you for a bit, and it's like you can't move.
Did you get the joke though when Daniel LaRusso goes back to the quaint Japanese village, and then suddenly there's like a mall area and like Red Lobster is there, and then some lady comes up. Oh, we've really spruced up the place. We built up. We have new restaurants here. Here's a menu for Jersey Mike's, and of course that's a joke because of course he's from Jersey. So
to get
away from the United States. And
well, I've heard from a lot of people that if you go to Japan and kind of look for American cuisine, it's different.
Yes.
You'll be like, hamburger. What the hell is on this hamburger? Ice cream. What the hell flavor is this ice cream?
I'm trying to think. I'm sure they have American style restaurants over there, but yeah, it just depends. What do they like? What was the weirdness? As I said, I gotta think of Japanese.
There's a lot of things that are kind of lost in translation in Japan. Let's just.
I have to tell you though, in the Japanese snack box I got, there was a chocolate chip cookie which was amazing. Okay, one of the but it was almost like it was filled with chocolate in the middle. It was just really good.
Ooh, that does sound good.
But okay, we have another picture of Kreese because I couldn't find anything else for that episode. But
okay.
He's basically running the dojo. Was this the season where he had the mouse? Hey, let's name him. And I guess the one kid's like Oliver. So, Oliver. Okay, now feed him to the snake in the terrarium. Remember that?
Yeah.
Harsh, man.
Actually, Tim's right about that. That's true. The food, the so-called Cantonese food that you get at Chinese takeout. That's nothing like Chinese food.
I want to find a good Thai restaurant. We haven't had one since we used to live in the city. There was that one place that was really good.
Yeah.
And they're actually very proud of their B rating.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this when Johnny Lawrence is trying to start up Eagle Fang?
Yes.
This season, and he has to do it in the park because he doesn't have a dojo anymore.
Exactly right. Welcome, Keely Chow. Thanks for being here, my friend. Yes, that's exactly what this was, and it's like he's got the cast-offs from both dojos.
Basically, yeah, and there's a better picture of Amanda, Daniel's wife. I figured.
She's a spitfire. Let me tell you, this scene here.
She was angry at Kreese being in charge.
Yes, she was.
Like, and that Tory girl, she almost murdered my daughter. How is this thing being allowed? And blah blah, and just.
Japanese company bought 7-Eleven, and they will be changing all the American 7-Eleven to be Japanese style. And everybody says it's way better than the Americans.
I may have.
That's
to
probably true. I'll have to look into this.
Better. I'm gonna have to look into that. All right. So of course things are very chaotic. Things are, and it's like, what are we gonna do? We're heading toward the Christmas season, the end of the season, and who shows up?
Yep, Elizabeth Shue.
Which I think was desperately needed for these characters. I think Daniel sort of got his grounding when he went to Japan, and I think Johnny's getting his now.
Yep.
With Allie showing up. And of course, she's sort of separated from her husband, not sure if they're going to get divorced or not, and she shows up in town, and
right.
Johnny's was almost thinking of making Miguel's mom Carmen his full-on girlfriend, but then Allie shows up, so they sort of have a date, right?
Right.
Kind of a reminisce of their old high school days. Look at that. He gets her, was that a hippopotamus?
Yep.
That he wins her, I think. And
because
it's
she
kind
wants
of nice.
a hippopotamus for Christmas. I caught that connection. Yeah.
And they even visit Daniel LaRusso and his wife. And the funny thing is, Allie says, "Remember, Daniel, when I told you, did you ever get that car looked at? I told you the brake wasn't working." And then, of course, she explains her side of the whole breakup thing from part 2, where she was just teasing him a little bit with this old guy, and then Daniel flew off the handle with this old boyfriend or whatever, and then he was basically, in a way, he was sort of acting like Johnny does, if you think about it.
That's interesting, because that's something that happens in between. You have very little information.
You never see what happens. You just hear Daniel's side of what happens.
Exactly. And when you hear her side of it,
it's because of her that I totaled my car and all this, and it's like, no, there's something wrong with the brake, and she was trying to warn you, and you were angry about this other guy who she wasn't really dating, but then she was sort of testing this.
And you could totally see, and his wife is like, yeah, that sounds like Daniel.
So there we go, though. But they have a nice little, and she decides to leave, and she's not sure where things are with her husband. She and Johnny, they had a nice date, but they're not going to obviously get back together.
Right.
It's just, and it's left in a good place. And I think Daniel and Johnny needed Allie to come back and kind of.
It was a real, and she and this episode was very insightful. So this is the one that really keys into what I was talking about the the whole theory of Daniel's the bad guy. She's kind of the one who points out, yeah, you were kind of an ass too. Yes, Johnny, started it all, but then you escalated it, and you didn't have to do that. And when you look back at the first movie, you're like, she's not wrong, and you realize, yes, as an adult, they were both dumb kids, and they kind of come to that agreement by the end of the episode,
Yeah. And here's the finale. Oh, Daniel is pissed.
Yep.
Because a bunch of Cobra Kai, I think, are they under the orders of Kreese? They show up at his house when he's at the party, and they start messing with, I think, his daughter again, and there's fighting happening. It's in his house. A line has been crossed.
Yep.
And
absolutely. This is my house. Exactly.
Don't involve my family in this. This is ridiculous. And I think, does Johnny show up too, I believe, in this final fight? I seem to recall that.
I don't remember. I'm actually going to end up having to watch all these seasons.
But then I think this whole thing is we're going to leave it till the next tournament, right? Isn't that what it is? Isn't that how they leave it? No, we're going to, it's like in the original Karate Kid, we're going to leave it till the next tournament, the next tournament.
Exactly. Well, because look, this kind of a situation, it's like we're risking the police getting involved, you know?
Yeah. But, so John Kreese realizes that, especially with Johnny not on his side and all this, he's going to have to get some help, and he makes a phone call at the end of the season. And who does he call?
Oh, yes.
Bring the next thing up. The next thing of slides.
Yes. Oh, so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because you think Kreese is bad? This guy's knucking futs.
All right.
By the end of season 5, you're like, this guy's not just an asshole, he's fucking Joker nuts.
I've tried to explain to people who this villain is. I think a lot of people skipped Karate Kid 3. I think they didn't see it because they know that number 2, because 2 was a big hit and 1 was a big hit. I think people kind of just didn't hop on as much to Karate Kid Part 3. They don't remember it.
Yeah.
They forget. I remember who Terry Silver was. Terry Silver is in some ways worse than Kreese. Terry Silver,
he is way worse than Kreese.
He will get inside your head and start doing psychological shit on you. He will get under your skin. And start
you see around. He's like, okay, if Kreese is like Darth Vader, Terry Silver is the Emperor, right?
Yeah.
He is literally, in the third movie, he is trying to turn Daniel to the dark side. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely a psyop. Exactly.
He is he's a bad guy, and he's reluctant to come back. He's made a lot of money.
One thing I think we're going to be... I don't know if you have this in your slides, if we're going to get into
the
this.
flashbacks?
Yeah.
Talk about him. Why don't you talk about him?
Okay. Yeah. I'll leave it.
I don't have them. I couldn't get good pictures of the flashbacks.
So we know that, and we know this from the third movie, Kreese and Silver served in Vietnam together. Mm-hmm. And there's some flashback scenes that really flesh that out. And it's, for anyone who knows Vietnam history, anyone who served, it's intense.
Stuff.
It's intense stuff. So you totally understand Kreese's loyalty in friendship to...
Kreese was messed with, too, by his commanding officer, though, because
True.
Kreese had a love of his life back home. Again, I argue that, maybe if Kreese had that good woman, he might not have turned out the way he did. But instead, she ended up dying while he was over, and the commanding officer hid it from him.
Yes.
Didn't tell her she was alive, or that she died, because he might have flown back to the funeral or something like that.
Right.
And because he was sort of over there for her, and because I guess he wanted to build a life with her when he got back.
Right.
And it's he had kind of a tragic story, and of course there's a part in the flashbacks to Vietnam where he has a moment where he's going to choose the light or the dark, and he chooses the dark when. Yep. He sends his commanding officer into the snake pit when he didn't have to. Now, to be fair, the commanding officer guy or whatever, he was a bad egg. I'm not saying.
Yeah. So I think the thing that Age of Boomer's missing here is in this flashback set in Vietnam. These guys are prisoners of war. Yep. And it's a life and death situation, and it's very interesting.
To fight each other over a snake pit at one point, right?
Yeah, and it's very, very interesting, and maybe a little bit far fetched for Vietnam, but it really sets up these characters and what their relationship is and why they're so knuck and futz.
From Kreese's
they all have some post-traumatic stress.
From Kreese's perspective, he's not the villain, obviously. He thinks he's the hero, probably, of his own story.
That's the other thing, too. Yeah. You have to take these flashbacks. Who is the narrator and right. How reliable are they, right?
But there is Terry Silver, the major bad guy, or one of the major bad guys from Karate.
Again, in every instance, when they bring a character back, it's the same actor that played him in the movies.
Oh, yeah. And I often wonder, too, like, if they were setting up other villains. Of course, we know Miguel had a dad with a shady past, who we actually do get to see later on. But I often wondered if they were setting up other villains in case they couldn't get the originals back. But other things going on this season. This is one of Kenny Payne, who... talk about... I mean, all the kids on this show, I'll be honest with you, half of them start out as the bullied nerd, then they become the bullies themselves, then they come back around again to not being the bully, and this happens a lot. A lot
of great character development over the seasons. Yeah.
Here's Kenny, and just look at this picture. It's just he's embarrassed. This is probably something got posted online about him. He's the new kid in school. He's into like the computer games and stuff. I think he does some cosplaying, but he's just not getting along with everybody. And of course, we find out who the bully is, who his bully is during this season, and it's Daniel LaRusso's son.
Oh, that hurts. Yeah.
Anthony, right?
Yep.
What are you doing? And I was always saying Anthony's a little shit.
Yes, he is.
Out of all the characters,
that's the interesting thing.
He should know better than not.
Your character that you think is the hero character, his son's an asshole.
Of course, this kid becomes an asshole, too, as time goes on, too. So it's kind of sad how that happens, too.
Yeah, it's interesting because you start to have sympathy for him, and then he turns into an asshole, and it's like, well, you just gave up the high ground, kid.
Oh, we just ignored the whole thing that Miguel recovers his... he can walk again.
Right.
I forgot about that. I'm sorry. And how does it happen? Who brings him back? Johnny Lawrence takes him to a Twisted Sister concert, and then he starts tapping his feet in the wheelchair. Remember that?
Yes, exactly. Well, and as it turned out, I mean, this wasn't, some big mystical situation. It's like he had bruising on his spine. The paralysis was temporary.
But then I think the doctor thought it was like psychosomatic or something.
It could have been. It could have been. But like I said, it could have been bruising. Mm-hmm. And you don't know. You don't know if there's damage to the spine or, Yeah.
I like this. This is the episode where Sam goes flying across the roof.
So this was the one that had me going, the fuck you doing, man? So this is again Cobra Kai. Well, not Cobra Kai.
Eagle Fang. Eagle Fang. And then
you.
the one kid says, "Eagles don't have fangs." Shut up, penis breath.
Shut up, breath. It's cool, So he's got these kids jumping over this. What is it, like an alleyway between two buildings from the roof? And it's like if they fall, they're fucking dead. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you, dude?
I think he needed Sam to show the rest of the kids. It was kind of funny because I almost think that Sam was on loan to Johnny, and one of Johnny's students was on loan to Daniel, right? Wasn't that what was happening?
I think so.
Because they were sort of doing not a joined dojo, but they were working together because they knew that Cobra Kai is the common enemy, right? At that point.
Right.
So,
right.
Especially with Terry Silver now involved. And remember when Terry Silver first comes up to Daniel LaRusso to try to talk, and it goes horribly wrong, and Daniel really hates Terry Silver.
Yes. Rightly so, because of how he was treated by him. He was
child abuse.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, granted, maybe he was 18 at that point, but still, it was just... here's the episode from the part. Remember the party when remember you see Tori and she's with other girls and she's putting on a purple hair, and I'm like, she's not in some kind of strip show, is she? And no, it's a kids' party where she's playing a beautiful mermaid or something.
Yes.
And of course, Sam gets dragged along with her mom to this very party, and then Sam sees Tori there, and Sam starts messing with Tori while she's trying to work.
Right.
Which is not cool.
No.
Sam's just trying to earn a buck. She's not trying to start anything while she's working. Just leave her alone and let her do her job. And Sam keeps messing with her, and Sam quits.
And this is crucial because she really needs the money.
Yes.
She is trying to be responsible.
I think Reese ends up helping her a little bit out financially. Yeah. That's why she comes back.
Exactly. Which, of course, falls into that cult mentality, right? You gain somebody's affection and appreciation.
I think she got expelled too from school, didn't she?
Yes.
Which, to be fair though, I think Amanda leads the way in getting her back into school. So
good point. Yeah,
because she's the one. Because I think there was an idea on the show that escalating is bad.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to make peace with your enemies. It's not about necessarily becoming friends with your enemies. Make peace with your enemies and stop the fighting.
Well, I think the recurring theme is, what the hell are you fighting over? Is it that important,
Yes. I think this was the season where we get to have a big bout between Daniel and Johnny that they show in front of the two dojos, right?
Right.
And I think they end up tying. Isn't that what happens, I think?
Exactly, and it was
season for you.
It was one of those situations where, again, it's a little bit humbling for both of them. It's like
everyone on the show is an a-hole. Everyone on the show is flawed, and they learn.
Yeah, and it's like, look, this is where they put aside the Hollywood, yay, the good guy wins. There's no good guy here, so nobody wins. It's like, you guys are both adults. You guys are both pretty equally balanced in your skills. Get over yourselves.
Yeah. This was the episode where they were trying to recruit for Eagle Fang because they needed a woman, because they said we can't enter the women's competition like one-on-one if we don't have a woman. So then he had Miguel showing off his muscles in front of the girls, thinking that was going to work, and of course he's stuck in the 80s. He's stuck in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Anthony. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, no, I didn't do anything or something, and I think he ends up getting grounded. And then I think there's a scene. Doesn't he break his tablet in front of him because the kid is always on the computer and stuff,
right,
playing his games? And he's like, "You're being punished, okay?"
Yeah.
I like this picture. It's all of them. Look at this.
Yep.
You have.
Is this a promo shot?
No, it might be from the actual episode. It's,
okay.
Is this? I'm trying to remember. Is this their?
You know, it's right behind Daniel there. That's his
like
mom.
A prom? Is this them getting ready to all go to prom? Is that what it is? 'Cause I think Miguel's there with Sam because they're dating.
But look at there's the guest appearance. Daniel's mom is there.
Yep.
Same actress.
She
I'm
is,
like,
same actress.
awesome,
yeah.
awesome.
It's kind of like the two families are there.
Yes.
Look at that.
Exactly.
And of course, I think Miguel gets hurt again during the All Valley.
He's so fragile. He's so fragile.
Oh, he did fall into a railing from a height. Okay,
right.
And I'm not going to say who wins, but I think we have an idea.
So deleted scene says, so everyone on the show is an a-hole. Only insofar as, let's face it, most everyone is to some degree. There is a degree of realism here.
It's kind of, yeah.
You like almost all the characters.
Yeah.
But you also are very disappointed in the characters.
Do I not like any of the characters? I think Kenny is the one that disappointed me the most, but I have to argue that they had to speed up his turn from good kid to evil kid.
Look, even Kreese, even Kreese you feel sorry for a couple of times, right?
Yes.
The only one you never have any compassion for is Silver. He's a effing piece of crap.
Barry Silver's a supervillain.
Yes, he is.
I'm wondering what he's trying to do. And of course, this season ends with Terry Silver setting up Kreese to go to jail so he can take over Cobra Kai himself.
What I will say is, with the exception of Kreese, who, you have a little bit of compassion for, but he's still an asshole. Everybody else, you see, this is where I'm going to, no, not everyone is an asshole. Everybody is a hero to a degree. An asshole at times, by and large, you root for all of them.
Like
you see them as all potential heroes.
There are times I like Hawk, and other times I like Hawk. You went too far, dude. Come on.
Exactly. And you do the same thing with Daniel, and you do the same thing with his daughter. Even his wife, she's the one who is probably the best character most of the time, but a couple of times she goes a little too far, and you're like, pull it back, girl. Pull it back.
Do you know what I found refreshing about this series? Remember Miguel was talking about, I'm not sure what I'm going to do if I'm going to go to college, or I don't know about college. And usually on shows like this, the adult says, you have to go to college. You want to be this the rest of your life, and blah, blah. And what does Daniel say? I didn't go to college. No,
right.
Daniel did not
I love that. I
don't think everyone has to go to college either. I think there's this whole thing, this very anti-blue collar or note in America, which I think is started in the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
It's just, no. I mean, people can take different paths.
I went to college, never finished my degree.
Yeah.
Kind of glad I didn't. You got to think, what do you want to do with your life, and is college necessary for it?
Right. So here is season 5, the last full season we've had so far, and this is Terry Silver Ascendant. Yep. Terry Silver is a scary, bad villain. Look at him. He looks evil.
Yep.
And of course, he puts on a good front in front of the media, because unlike Kreese, who had sort of, or Johnny Lawrence, whatever, Terry Silver has always been respected, right? He was a businessman. He's made a lot of money, and now he's giving it back to the community. Cobra Kai.
We saw him as very wealthy to begin with, but even in Karate Kid 3, we know that he was it Karate Kid 3? Yeah, Karate Kid 3. We know that he got his fortune through some very underhanded means.
Yes. And I think they even do some flashbacks to when he show how he made money and stuff like that. But look at Tori's still with Cobra Kai, but Tori, she's almost having divided loyalties during the season, right? But
she's got that whole
because she likes Kreese. Kreese was she felt Kreese was at least looking out for me. And
she kind of falls into the cult of Kreese, so to speak.
Well, Terry set him up too, and she didn't like that, and the fact that we have new instructors at this new Cobra Kai dojo, including let me find out her name. Hold on.
They pull in some foreign affiliates.
Well, the most evil karate instructors from all around the world. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, basically right. You know what? Continue. I gotta step away briefly. I'll be right back.
But what do you mean I gotta step away? Okay, go step.
No, I have to step away. You gotta
step away briefly.
You're my co-pilot. You gotta.
Well, I had a joke I was gonna say, so I gotta wait now. How's everybody liking the stream? It's gonna be epic. I hope the finale is gonna be epic, and I guess they're gonna lead into the next. There's gonna be another Karate Kid movie with Daniel LaRusso coming back for that as well. But yeah, but I'll wait till Troy gets back. But anyone here a Karate Kid movie fan? And anyone here watch these movies when they came out? Like I said, Troy and I will be covering the first two on Monday. We're going to be doing a live stream on his channel about that. But I had a joke to make about this lady in front of Troy, but I'm going to have to wait for him to come back. I think he had to use a little men's room. You know, that Japanese beer goes right through you. But has anyone here seen the new season yet? I'll probably binge it soon. But I know they're only showing the first half. I hate it when they do that. Season 5, part 1. Actually, you know who whose picture I'm gonna go to. Okay, haven't talked about him yet. He was actually introduced in season 2, and that was Raymond Stingray, also known as Stingray, who was a man who was probably way too old to be entering into the Cobra Kai dojo, and he basically disappeared at the end of season 2, and we weren't sure what happened to him. And I think he tried coming back to Cobra Kai when Kreese was running it, and Kreese kicked him out. So then what Terry Silver did, I think Terry Silver beat him up and then blamed it on Kreese. And then he went to the police and said, this old man Kreese beat me up. And that's how he went to jail. And he's been living the high life ever since. Terry Silver set him up with a nice apartment and a brand new PlayStation and a big screen TV. But he's been having second thoughts if he did the right thing. But life finally got in the way of Cobra Kai. Well, I'll say this. At least the episodes are short, Curtis. They are not long. Hi.
Hi. My camera wasn't restarting.
Talking about Stingray because we hadn't mentioned him yet. But
this character.
Season,
this character is kind of a sad character. I mean, he's
too old to be hanging with teens.
But total loser. He totally needs something to bolster his
self-esteem.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Terry Silver bribed him to basically to pretend that Kreese beat him up and tell the cops about it.
Yes.
Do you see that? What does he have? He has like what are those Magic the Gathering cards? I think his T-shirt is saying it's dangerous to go out without a weapon or without a sword. That's from the original Legend of Zelda. That's he's just he's kind of the nerdy character. I was trying to explain him because I wanted to talk a little bit about who I nicknamed the Dragon Lady, but
she kind of is the Dragon Lady. That's true.
What the heck is her name? Why is she all the way down here? Here we go. That's Alicia Hannah Kim as Kim Dae-un. And if I were to run into this character in real life, I would tell her, "You're angry when you're beautiful." But anyway,
you're angry when you're beautiful. I
don't know. Older lady, but I don't know. I think she's hot myself. That's just
she's very attractive. There's no doubt about it.
But she's kind of cold-hearted. She is not a kind person. And we turned out that she's a descendant of the person that created the karate that Kreese and them follow, because they followed a different school of karate than, of course, Miyagi-Do. They learned from different people, and this was a much harsher teacher.
Yeah, there was never any backstory to where the
Kreese got his karate. We found out in the show where he got his karate from. Korean karate master, if I believe so.
Right.
So yeah. But of course, meanwhile, Miguel's off in Mexico trying to find his dad, his birth dad. And there's Johnny Lawrence.
What was that, like full body inspector or something like that? FBI?
Yeah, and then suddenly the guy says, "Why
female
is the
body
FBI
inspector?"
Here?
That's what.
Why is the FBI here? And it alerts the guards. Because of course, Miguel's birth father, he may be. Is he involved in cartels, or he's involved in something shady?
Yeah,
maybe not cartels. And And of course, you find out that he's really not such a nice guy, even though Miguel's trying to connect with him. And I think Miguel finally comes home, and
Right.
Johnny is here in Mexico with Bobby trying to find Miguel, but they finally come back home. But that was funny, and I think he's pouring alcohol over himself. That's what he's doing.
Well, you know, you can absorb it that way. Oh, here we go.
Another villain from Karate Kid Part 3, the bad boy of karate. What was his name again? Let me see here.
I don't even remember, but this is another one. Just like they did with Chosen, there's a big reversal here, right? Subversion of expectations, but the right way to do subversion of expectation.
Okay, Mike Barnes plays
Mike Barnes, the bad boy of karate. Right.
And he was pretty awful in Part 3. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Remember he goes up to Daniel and says, "I need your title." And he says, "Well, go take it. I'm not doing the tournament again this year." Right. No. I have to beat you at the tournament to truly take your title. That was part of the reason he's getting paid, right? And it's like, because Daniel doesn't want to fight in the tournament again. He's like, "Nah, I've already won once. No need to do it again." It's like, but of course, time goes on. And he says, "Oh, you know, I got married. I reformed. I now help my wife run this furniture."
Yeah.
business,
So
right?
so this is the thing. So he's now, just like Daniel is working at a since he owns a car dealership, Mike Barnes he owns a furniture outlet.
Yeah. And
Daniel's getting really paranoid. He thinks, you know, everyone's out to get him. Everyone's out to... So he sneaks into this dealership. He overhears a conversation. It has to do with...
No, here's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, I already... Well, you know, I'm already going to... I already took out the Japanese one, and we're going to get rid of that Italian piece of junk or something. And you know, and you're thinking he's talking about Daniel LaRusso and Chosen, because Chosen's back.
Right.
And because he's helping Daniel with the whole Harry Silver thing. And then, of course, he's talking about furniture, Italian furniture and Japanese
it's totally business. He's not at all involved in any of this karate bullshit anymore.
And then Chosen starts beating up, I think, like the furniture workers in the store. He's like, no, stop, Chosen. It's like, you know.
Yeah, and then it just gets out of hand in this big fight, and it's all a huge misunderstanding, smashing up the place too, you know. So really, Daniel and Chosen are the bad guys here, right?
But he agrees to help them. I forget what he's trying to do. He's trying to figure out if Terry Silver rigged the tournament, right? Because there's thoughts that I forget how that gets out, that he may have paid off one of the judges, because I think Tori shouldn't have won against Sam, like they ignored some penalty thing that she did.
Right.
And of course, I think Tori finds that out too and is not pleased with that, because she wanted to win fairly.
Real quick, I want to say hi to Jesse Green 619. Thanks for being here. But I thought we said hi to you earlier. Maybe I'm all booze plugged.
You're thinking Jesse Guajardo.
Maybe. I thought you were here earlier, Jesse. But welcome. Always awesome to see you.
But there we go. But
so yeah, here's another previous villain who just grew up, never thought again about any of the stuff from the movies, and it's like, oh, you know, yeah, no, I'm not here to bust your chops, you know, and ends up teaming up with them.
Well, here's the funny thing, though. I think his store gets burned down because he was helping Daniel out, right?
Yes.
That store mysteriously.
He does get sucked back into it, but more or less on Daniel's side.
Yeah. I remember this was the big rivalry at the pool.
Okay, I'm just at this age where I look at these guys and I go, screw these guys.
I know.
Age is wasted on all the wrong people.
They have their lives ahead of them, and they're
right.
Everything.
Damn. I don't think I ever looked that good.
I don't know. I remember in my later 20s I was fitter than I am now. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I got a pretty good clean and bill health.
Weren't we all?
Yeah. Here we go, though. Daniel starts investigating Terry Silver and finds the nice apartment of the one guy, and I think... Does he end up breaking the guy's PlayStation and feels bad, so he gets him a new one? And then who's waiting? Not the nerdy guy, but the Terry Silver. And Terry Silver... I think at this point, what is it? I think Daniel LaRusso just wants to... I'm just done.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm done with the rivalry, just Cobra Kai. I have a family, I don't want any of this. But of course, Terry Silver, no, I don't care if you want to leave me alone. That's not enough at this point. You need to pay. And because Terry Silver's evil. That was the female recruit for Cobra Kai. Remember, that was the one. Oh, no, for Eagle Fang. But
did you ever train with a dummy like that on the right?
Me? No.
Yeah. Oh, I kicked the shit out of a dummy like that.
Well, okay. But
they never fought back.
I forgot if she had any kind of a story arc. I'm trying to remember who she was. I know she was the one that.
She was one of the newer ones in that season.
Yeah, she was hired by. Eagle Fang needed a woman, so that's who they ended up picking.
Yes, exactly. Right.
But then she ends up going with Cobra Kai because Eagle Fang fold or something, or it goes out for a while or something. Maybe that was one of the conditions. I think that was the condition of the tournament that they lost to Eagle Fang.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why. So she needed. I had to go somewhere, so I'm going to go to Cobra Kai. Chosen is back. He's helping train the students over at Miyagi.
So Chosen, just like we saw with Johnny Lawrence, just like we saw with Daniel LaRusso, he's got his own training method, right? We do see some flashbacks to, kind of how he, trained, as a young man. But
he's tough, but not in the same way that a Johnny.
Yes, his training method is bizarre, but when you realize what's going on with it, it's like it's smart. It's smart. Yeah, protect the egg. Exactly.
It's what I think his training method is. He's trying to get them to think.
Yes,
like he's trying
to get them to think, and box, maybe not. It's not all about you.
And it's not.
Sometimes it's about the team.
Yeah. Sometimes it's about the team and protecting the weakest member or the most vulnerable member. I think.
Again, showing that these older characters. You go to the next one because I think this is the older characters having wisdom. I think that's a brilliant wisdom, but they still have room to grow, right?
Yeah.
We even saw this going back to the second Karate Kid movie. Even Mr. Miyagi, who he thought knew everything, even he had some room to grow.
Yeah.
Right? So, so here are the adults unified against, Kreese and Silver, right? Even the wife is involved now because she's like this.
No, she has to be.
Yeah, it's like I got to protect my kids.
That's Tori being forced to do a very nasty thing,
which is very this has direct
very Terry Silver type.
Yeah,
of thing, yes.
You go back and you watch Karate Kid 3, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is Terry Silver has not changed.
Yeah. And here we go, and of course he's feeling bad about being involved in all this, thinking that he always looks at heroes and then plays heroes in his role-playing games and video games. He just wanted to be one in real life, but he kind of, when the time
realizes
came,
he's on the villain side. Yeah.
And here we go.
One thing I'm going to say about the depiction of Terry Silver, and this is a subtle thing. It took me a while to catch on to this. His hair is mussed up. Back in Karate Kid 3, his hair was pulled back in a ponytail. And there's a couple of times in Cobra Kai where, he's got that kind of put-together look. But by and large, his hair is just a friggin' mess. And it's very clearly demonstrating who he is and where he is.
He's out of control.
He's not going to.
Well, it's funny because sometimes it's tied back and he looks all serene, and then it gets wild like it is here.
Yup, exactly. That's not an accident. Yeah, exactly.
I won't spoil too much more, but there's a major showdown with everyone.
Yep.
And it's satisfying. In fact, it's not how the series ends, but if they had tweaked it, if this had been how the series ended, I probably would have been okay with it. But I think we have one more major fight to happen.
Right.
That'll be in this latest season. But there's Daniel. Daniel is in rare form. Here we go.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's been a long time coming.
It also makes me wonder if Ralph Macchio had a lot of training that he was doing throughout the seasons of this show.
He never fought Terry Silver in the original movie.
That's true.
He never fought Terry Silver. He was always going against his Mike Barnes, the bad boy of karate, but not Terry Silver. Terry Silver, we always figured he was a very dangerous character.
Yep.
And this is the poster for the final season. So,
which some of you guys, I know you guys have already seen. I have not yet. I was kind of waiting until we got through this refresher because I kind of needed it as much as you guys did.
Yeah.
I do want to watch those movies again on Monday. The first and second movies, definitely worth it. And then you know what? We'll watch Karate Kid 3 and 4 when the second half of season 6 drops. I think that's what we'll do.
But here we go. I wonder if the teens are watching this show. That's what
I hope so. About. This is the kind of thing where this would be great for our generation to share with our kids. I think everyone could enjoy this.
Yeah. You know what? Good point.
It's worth it, Jesse. I was saying earlier in the stream, go ahead and pick up the DVDs. If you don't already subscribe to Netflix, just get the damn DVDs. You'll own them, you'll have them, you can watch them as often as you want.
But great series. One of the best series of this decade. Probably one of the defining series of this decade.
Agreed.
I don't know how many defining series are going to be this decade because it's just I don't know. I'm sure Yellow.
Honestly, Midnight's Edge and a lot of the other channels have been commenting and saying, this decade is going to be remembered in history as the most effed up decade.
It's a decade people aren't going to want to revisit.
No, because a lot of the stuff that came out here that, just like we were... Look, this is an example of something we were nostalgic for. They rebooted it. This is technically a reboot, is what this series is.
This is a sequel.
A sequel, reboot, whatever you want to call it.
A requel, as they said in the
Yes, exactly. And it's done right. Because the old fans loved it. Everything I'm hearing, the new fans that have never seen these movies is loving it. It's a great, great show.
If you hadn't seen the movies, though, it flashbacks enough of the movies. One of my favorite parts of this.
Yeah, you don't need to have seen the movies to appreciate this series.
Do you remember the part? I think it was in season 2 or whatever, when some former Cobra Kai show up Miyagi-Do, and the Miyagi-Do they're like, "Don't let Cobra Kai in here. How can you let them in here? They're Cobra Kai. They're no good. Don't let them in here." And he says, "You can come back from Cobra Kai." "No, you can't. You're tarred forever." "Yes, you can." "No, you can't." And he says, "Yes, you can, because I did." And he tried explaining that basically
that's a great line. Because then you
all that
even as a viewer, you stop and you go, "Oh, that's right, Karate Kid 3.
When was he in Cobra Kai? I was thinking, and then he's explaining, no, if you think about it, Terry Silver.
Yes.
Terry Silver trying to turn him into? He was trying to turn him into a Cobra Kai, giving him all this bad, nasty lessons and trying to turn him. And that's
honestly, this is the story. This is what they should have done with the Star Wars sequels, right?
Yeah.
Because, everyone keeps referencing Dark Empire and whatnot, and it's like, yeah, they effed all that up. This show, Cobra Kai, covers, that story much, much better. Welcome, Lester San Jose. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Or, I don't know, maybe you re-upped your membership. I'm not sure. But thank you so much for the support. You guys really are the best audience. You are the best audience in YouTube. You really are.
You see in the background, though, you got Kreese in the shadows. And also the dragon lady, as I call her.
So,
even though that's a Chinese expression, so I guess that she's Korean. But
one more time, I don't know if Big Al may have dropped out. I wouldn't be surprised, and I don't blame you if you have, Big Al. But if you are still here, that's another question. Is there anything within the first season, or excuse me, the first half of season 6, that sets up the movie that we are all looking forward to, the crossover of Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, the new Karate Kid movie that they're planning?
Yeah.
We're kind of expecting that. So I'd love to know if that's something. I mean, it's not going to spoil anything for me, you know?
I'm curious. I don't know. This may be its own thing, and then maybe that'll be the start of something new. When they
Okay, Lester is just pointing out, yeah, he re-upped. Thank you so much. Yeah, I thought you were a member already. But there's nothing that tells me in the initial, comment here if you've upgraded or if you've renewed or what the case is. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I like how all the students...
Oh, wait, Josh, forgive me if I mispronounce, Josh Chawla says, not really. I think that will happen in part 3. Okay, fair enough. Oh, you haven't watched part 1? No, yeah. We haven't watched any of
we were trying to, but
season 6 yet.
But tornadoes happened.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean with the movies? Yes.
No. Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about the season. Okay.
He's talking about the season. Yeah.
Well, probably haven't watched by next week, but next week we're not talking about Cobra Kai. We're talking about something else.
Right. Exactly. So, I at one point I thought we were going so long, I thought we were going to have to split this in 2, but we did fine. I think we got through the 5 seasons. Yeah. So for those of you that haven't seen season 6, you're all set and ready for season 6. And if you are one of those people that has to go back and watch the first 5 seasons, go do that, because it's really, really a good show. It really is.
Yeah. But
Josh, are they splitting it into 3? I thought it was 2 parts.
Here's what I think it is. I think it's 2 parts and then a finale, maybe a very long episode or maybe even a mini movie.
Oh, didn't realize.
I think it's 3 parts. Yeah, that's what I'd heard. Yeah.
There are 2 characters that fight that everyone wanted to see.
It might be the Torrhen.
That does not narrow it down, Josh, but that's okay. That's cool. Yeah, 3 parts. Okay.
What the heck do I want to see fight?
5 episodes each. Okay. Josh, thank you so much. That's very, very helpful. I did not know any of this.
I'm trying to think who those 2 characters are now. I'm going to watch it soon enough, so I'll find out.
And here's the thing. I have to appreciate that Netflix has done it this way. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the best of both worlds, right? It's instead of dropping the whole season, boom, all at once, they're dropping it in portions, which is also, I think, like I said, it splits the difference between watching all of it at once or getting it
this is
a friggin' week.
3 parts, 5 episodes each, so it's going to be a 15-episode final season.
It's not a huge season, but they space it out.
Seasons are usually 10 episodes, so this is actually longer than most seasons.
It is, that's true.
Yeah.
They made part 2 come out earlier. It's now November 15th instead of November 28th. That is... Netter, can you make a note of this? That the part 2 comes out November 15th, because that's when I'll schedule the I gotta fit the rewatch of parts 3 and 4
Cobra Kai?
Yeah, Cobra Kai part 2 drops November 15th.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Josh. That's very helpful. I appreciate that. And deleted scenes gives me time to catch up. Yeah, you've got friggin' 5.33 seasons to catch up on. But I was okay with them splitting it up until the ending of episode 5. It's a huge cliffhanger, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to wait 3 months. That's what Big Al was saying, or well. He didn't say it quite so on the nose, but he alluded to that. And now you've kind of pretty much explained it for us, Josh. Thanks, and welcome, Ladon. Yo, what's up? We're actually coming to the end of the show here, Ladon. So If you are interested in getting caught up on Cobra Kai seasons 1 through 5, by all means, just go ahead and rewind back to the beginning, rewatch. But I super, super appreciate you being here.
Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso have the same father. I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
Daniel LaRusso, I am your father.
No,
yeah, they're both Kreese's children, right?
Oh my goodness, no! I lied to you. Your dad never had.
That would be like Star Wars stuff.
No,
it's
actually, no. Daniel knew his dad. Daniel, I think, had met his dad. Yeah.
Oh,
Johnny
that would be
knows
horrible if
that.
he found out.
Right. It's going to be more brutal than the wait between seasons 2 and 3. Yes.
That was an awful wait. What I'd heard, yeah, because
So going back to the very beginning, we were talking about this. It started out on Netflix. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. It started out on YouTube.
YouTube, then went to Netflix. Yes.
I thought it was somewhere in between.
No.
Okay.
Went from YouTube to Netflix, right?
And it's been on Netflix the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool.
Netflix rescued it basically, so that's good.
Yeah, good thing there.
Netflix does some good things. Like I said, usually I can point, even with companies I don't like, I can point, well, they're doing this wrong, but they're doing this right. Except for a certain company which seems to do everything wrong these days. And that's what's frustrating.
We had heralded this Cobra Kai from the very beginning. Well, I didn't, because I didn't get into it until the second or third season. But everyone that watched it from the beginning was saying, well, this is non-woke, this is non-woke. And just that in and of itself is incredibly refreshing right now. You know? Yes, that's what it was called, YouTube Red. I knew it was YouTube Premium service that doesn't exist anymore, but yeah, that's what it was. And they just eschewed it and said, we're just going to do as good a story as we can. It's sounding to me like Twisters is the same thing. They didn't get into messaging. They totally avoided any of this, environmental, global warming, climate change, whatever. And they said, we just want to tell a good story. We're not here to put out a message. And everyone seems to be responding very well to it. So you got to appreciate that. So was that the last slide?
Yep,
Yes,
that's
the
it.
last
You can
slide.
remove it. Yep.
Okay. So
that's it.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's Cobra Kai up until now. I'm sure I missed some little side stories.
Yeah, we missed some details. You really need to go back and watch it for yourself.
I recommend it, yeah.
But you got enough of the basic story to... Actually, we didn't get into the cliffhanger for the last season.
I
because
figured I didn't want to spoil that. I figured we've done enough. Do you want me to talk about it? What's the big cliffhanger?
We probably should.
Kreese is out of jail.
So what happens is Kreese gets set up, ends up in jail, and he's set up by Terry Silver. And Terry Silver ends up taking over. Like I said, he goes full on friggin' Joker nuts.
And he fails. I think he was trying to get out of good behavior by going to the shrink and all that, and it didn't work.
Right.
He still kept him in there. But he set something up for himself to get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. That we could probably leave. But the important point is...
I don't understand, though. If it's been revealed now that Terry Silver's the guy lied and that it was Terry Silver and that Kreese had nothing to do with that guy getting beaten up, couldn't Kreese have just been getting let out of jail anyway? Maybe he needed a good lawyer to do it. But
I don't know where they're going with the story. If I was to look at like real world law, I would say the legal system moves slowly. Even if you have proof of your innocence,
he would have been stuck in there for another year or two, probably.
That's exactly the way it works in the real world. We also have another situation. This is part of the cliffhanger. Is that there is another tournament,
a major one that's all around the whole world karate tournament, not just the Valley.
Not just the Valley.
They're being
and
entered across
the agreement was if you lose, you give up
your
dojo entirely. And am I correct that they lost at the end of the season? So they lost their dojo.
But they lost to cheating. If they lost, it was
what was
cheating.
No. I think what happened at the end of the season was if they lose getting entered in as contestants. But I think what happened is that the people running the worldwide tournament were so impressed with both that they said you both can enter. So it's not.
Right.
I don't think it's determined yet because now they have to lose in the big tournament. When those
so it's a setup.
They
for
thought
the
they would
next
get disqualified. One of them would get disqualified from being entered because only 2 are going to be able to get in. But then it turns out the judges were impressed with both dojos, Cobra Kai and I guess whatever Miyagi and Eagle Fang combined dojo, whatever the heck that is.
I can't call it Eagle Fang.
Eagle
you
Fang,
realize eagles don't have fangs,
please,
right?
Oh, please. Yeah, they
I'm
really
sorry.
need a better name. They really need a better name.
He's funny, Johnny Lawrence.
He is. I love. So they use him to poke at all of the woke stuff in culture.
Oh my goodness! Do you remember when someone's on the phone? He says, "You're what gender? Non-binary? Is you pranking me?" And he hangs up the phone.
Exactly. It's like, you know what? Just no. You know.
Remember when he's running the Uber service because he needs to make money because of course Johnny has a newborn on the way. Anyway, and he's making money, and one of the teenage girls in the back says, "Hey, do you have Billie Eilish?" "Hell yeah, I do." And what does he put in? He puts in a tape of Billy Idol because he doesn't.
Oh yes, exactly. Because let's face it, his taste in music is way better.
His taste in movies. I think was he watching old VHS tapes of what was that?
Top Gun.
No, it wasn't Top Gun. It was the Louis Gossett Jr. one.
Iron Eagle. Yes.
Eagle, and things like Bloodsport. Those were what he liked to watch.
Bloodsport,
yes. Those were like his favorite.
We know it's fiction. We know it's based on bullshit. I don't care. It's still a good movie. Yeah. But yeah, I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is rewatching season 5 just to get caught up so I can get into season 6 again.
And he kept going to the pawn shop and he says, "Here, Sports Illustrated issue 1983, worth a lot of money." And then he had like, "Here, this is a Nintendo," and the guy looks at it and says, "That's an Atari."
Yeah, exactly.
Johnny Lawrence wouldn't know the difference.
The problem with the magazines, see, this is the other thing. Magazines have all lost their value because
if it was mint,
all of it's online now these days.
But if it was mint, it might have some collector's value. But he's probably had it in his bathroom for like 20 years.
It's like you could find like any issue of any magazine somewhere online. I mean, it's just.
I should hunt for some old Nintendo powers and relive the past. But
there you go. Well, Netter's actually selling off a lot of our old PC games.
Yeah, I've actually sold a couple.
Yep.
But if anyone wants to take a gander,
have you sold the King's Quest games?
No, yeah, I don't. I think I've only got one of those listed right now. I still have about 18 games left.
Honestly, it's worth it to me to go ahead and rebuy them on Steam. To not have to pull out an old legacy computer just to play those games.
Yeah, but some people want it for the nostalgia of owning the box and everything.
Well, that's what she actually found a buyer who's buying like a large number of the games. He's like, well, they got to be in box. I'm like, he's buying them for collecting. He's not really buying them.
No, he actually plays them with his kid.
Oh, does he? Well,
but what's
cool.
funny is he's bought some of the ones that are 3.5 floppy disk ones.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, do more power to you because you got to have an old system to play
There's
those.
something fun about those old floppy disks,
Right, but I have in each auction
what drive
these are retro PC games that may not work with modern computers.
Exactly.
I'm not giving a refund if it doesn't work with your system.
It's your own fault if you don't have an emulator or an old system.
Now you weren't storing these next to Troy's magnet collection, right?
No.
Exactly. Dead Man Walking 55. Good evening, passing through, saying hello. Have a great stream. Thanks so much for stopping by, buddy. He was check out Netter's Network. Thursday stream, she was interviewing Dead Man Walking about his channel. Make sure you subscribe to Dead Man Walking. He is good people. A lot of heavy metal. Yeah, back when that magazine was still good, I had some heavy metal myself.
Okay, I did drop the link, or not the link, but I dropped the name to my eBay in the chat, and if you give me a second, I'll drop the actual link.
The Grot Shop on eBay for retro games. Yep.
Yeah. I always wanted to read the magazine because I used to because I love the movie so much. But it's interesting. I read about the that one weird one with the aliens that were getting high, and it had nothing really to do with the overall Lochnar story.
Yeah.
But then I was reading about what comic it was based on, and apparently, it got even weirder in the comic. And I was reading about that, where John Candy played the robot that was having fun.
He played a couple different roles because he also played the hero character in that.
Den, yeah, he played Den.
Right.
The Conan style or whatever.
Didn't want to be running around with my dork hanging out.
It was
basically an isekai story, is what it was. He's pulled from the real world into a fantasy world.
Well, I thought it might have been like a distant planet, but yeah, basically the same thing. Do you know what I thought was interesting though?
Take care, Curtis. Thanks for hanging out with us.
What happened? Yeah, he said that he's looking at the scene in front of him with the sacrifice. Like, this is like something right out of the Ten Commandments. And I think that's a joke because Elmer Bernstein wrote the score, I believe, to both the Ten Commandments and Heavy Metal. That's a good score, actually.
Josh says, I hope you guys watch season 6 quickly. There's a lot of spoilers already. Yeah, I'm not one who cares about spoilers. It won't ruin it for me. I will inevitably not only watch season 6, but I will end up buying those DVDs. So, but, yep. Take care, Curtis, and welcome, Dad Man Walking. But we are wrapping up. In fact, speaking of which, let's go through super abbreviated. Tomorrow night, Netters Network, Retro Cinema. It's what is it, Netter? What are we watching tomorrow night?
Give me a second, and I will tell you.
It's something
it will
about
be Dreamcatcher.
Dreamcatcher, Stephen King film, which. I don't remember, so I'm gonna refresh my. I must have liked it because we have the DVD, so we will be rewatching that tomorrow night. Sunday, it's all deleted scenes all the time. Check out his Thursday night weekend update. Tells you everything that he's got coming up. Western Cinema Unscripted, which leads into 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern, over on your channel, Age of Boomer.
Geeky Geezers, we're going to have an update on the MEO Nintendo situation. When they did that weird cryptic teaser last week, we finally know what it's for. We'll talk about other things. Interesting statement from the director of Twisters, which I thought was interesting.
Very culturally relevant.
Also, we'll have to talk with Troy after the stream if he wants to still do a certain story about a certain band that canceled their tour, because you seem to be very angry.
I'm pretty hot about it. I think the audience might enjoy hearing me rant.
I thought it was important enough because
we should probably talk about it. That's fine. There's been a lot of information that's come out about that.
I don't know. I mean, it's we got some news to talk about, and a lot of, unfortunately, more celebrities passing away. We didn't get to touch on Shannon Doherty and Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of Newhart, the shows when they were on? Or?
Well, I did not watch much of his first show, but I watched the second show, and of course, the second show ends with that classic, meta reference to the first show.
Does he wake up and it's all a dream and he's on the old show
His
again?
whole second show was a dream.
That's
he
funny.
wakes up in bed with Suzanne Plachette.
The original.
He's like, I had the weirdest dream, and
that's brilliant.
Everyone who was a fan of his previous show was like, oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. There was a lot of shows back in the day that when they ended a series, they ended it on this brilliant, twist. It's good stuff. So yeah, we'll talk about that on Sunday. Of course, we end Sunday with deleted scenes, The Other Side of Midnight, and Monday we will over right here on Monday, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. We will redo the double feature of Karate Kid and Karate Kid 2 that we had to abort last Monday because of weather.
Yes.
And hope you guys can join us for that. Tuesday night, of course, live from Sparkwood 21, I think we're on part 4 of Twin Peaks: The Return on Deleted Scenes channel. And Thursday, who's your guest, Netter?
Thursday, it'll be Appian.
Appian! Okay, great. So that's Netter's Network, 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Thursday. And that's the week in review. Any last words, any last thoughts, Agent Boomer?
No, I'm just looking forward to watching the new season of Cobra Kai, so I'll probably be binging that soon. Yeah.
And something else we're going to need to watch, Boomer. We got to get caught up on Outer Range because we will
there.
Screw you, man. Because we will be talking about that next week.
The first 3 episodes, right?
The first 3 episodes with deleted
guests.
scenes.
Yes.
Outer Range we'll be talking about.
Of season 2, yeah, because the new season's on. We've been waiting a while for that because we covered the first one on this
And it's
channel.
sounding to me like they didn't bollocks it up. It's still pretty good. So
I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. That's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Good.
I think it's in keeping with what they did in the first season.
Yep.
All right.
And Netter, last words, and you want to take us out?
Well, I'd have to get my gun, but yeah, I could.
Whenever I'm out of the house and I come home, she goes, "I missed you," and I'm like, "Well, you just got to go to the range more and practice."
For those who are interested in the retro games I currently have up, and I said I've got about, I want to say maybe about 18 left to list. I did drop my eBay link in the chat on both Troy's channel and mine. And there are some that, the ones I'm going to be listing from this point on, they don't have boxes, but everything's there. And because at some point we had the genius idea to, hey, let's take them out of boxes and put them in envelopes to save space. Wow. So the front of the game was cut out and all the stuff was put into an envelope to save space. So the ones that I am listing from this point on do not have a box, and the price is reflected on that.
Yep.
And I do combine shipping.
There you go.
Just make sure if you're buying more than one thing, no matter if it's games or something else I have up, put it in your cart first, and then request a total for me so I can give you combined shipping.
There you go.
And with that said,
we
can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it is so much more fun when you're joining us in the chat and you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company and having a wonderful time. And you guys, you know you're not just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys and we appreciate you so very much. You could be anywhere right now and you're here. And it's so encouraging to see you guys in the chat and all of our streams. And you're not just encouraging us on the panel, but you're encouraging one another in the chat. So thank you for that. Thank you for being a part of our family. Thank you for joining us tonight. And until next time, which will be tomorrow night on my channel for whatever movie I said it was.
Dreamcatcher.
Dreamcatcher. I wanted to say Dragon Slayer. I'm like, no, I think we did that one already. So until tomorrow night, good night and God bless.
Yeah. I want to thank you guys all so much. Every single one of you have encouraged me so much tonight. Special shout out to the Clue Channel, Disney Sheepherder, Curtis Selby twice, and Lester San Jose for the re-ups of memberships, the gift memberships, the super chats. You guys are awesome. You guys keep the lights on. You're real. I mean, in this case, literally, because this week was a tight week for me. So thank you guys so much. I super appreciate every single one of you. Hit the like button on the way out. That would also really encourage me. And thanks for hanging out, whether you were here on my channel, over on the Rumble, over on Netter's channel, Age of Boomer's channel. You guys are all so awesome. I super appreciate every single one of you. And, like Netter said, we'll see you on the next one. Take care, y'all.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.